Why pay dealership prices when you can get the same quality for less? Hi, it's Lisa, and here at Ed's Auto Salvage, we've been Alberta's trusted source for used auto parts for nearly 50 years. From engines to mirrors, transmissions to tires, we've got it all at prices guaranteed to keep your wallet happy. Shop local, shop smart. Shop Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock. Be sure to visit us online at edsautosalvage.com and get your vehicle back on the road for less.
Start to wonder about the not get it out. He gave it on quick strikes, 3 turnovers. With his team leading the playoffs, and the Oilers are back in the game.
Items up for sale include a variety of construction machinery, For more information on this, 3-843-842-2747.
In like a lion or like a lamb.
Minnesota trying to close out.
Blows right by Tim Hardaway Jr. You see the this young man has played downhill, using his speed, blows right by Tim.
Can help you
Eliminate Denver.
help from Sherwood Honda.
Minnesota trying to close out.
The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. Licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move to BDO Talk or visit bdo.ca to discover your debt-free future.
The Jason Gregor Show.
That's exactly what Edmonton needed. Very confident with his team leading and the Oilers are back in the game.
On Sports 1440.
Minnesota trying to close out and eliminate Denver.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
The Oilers get a gift. Don't stop. Connor Halley, a soft shot toward the
Well, Oilers fans, welcome to May, a playoff-less May. But you know what? For Sports Talk Radio, is it going to be busy? Because there's going to be no shortage. Because I got, man, all the topics I want to get to, you can't get to today. We're going to have a summer of probably have a different theme, different days when it comes to the Oilers. Obviously, we're going to talk lots of other sports because we're a sports show. We love sports. But there's lots to discuss. I'm telling you, lots to discuss when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers and where they are at, and maybe where they potentially are going next season for them. So we'll get into to all of that. Oilers season is over. I'll be honest. I got sucked in. I thought that the Oilers would be able to turn it on in the playoffs. I was wrong. They were not able to turn it on in the playoffs. Basically, the playoffs were who they were for the most part of the regular season. Inconsistent defensively, could not get it done. Just who they've been, right? That's who the Oilers have been all year long. Played good for game. Hey, they played good in Game 5, and then I didn't really like any part of their game in Game 6. Now, they got a little bit unlucky in a sense, but I think you got to work hard make your luck is from working hard. Anaheim, 2 of their first 3 goals, one goes in off Paling, the other one goes in off Nurse's stick. Hey, you get good bounces. That's what happens. So, not taking anything away from Anaheim. They deserve to win. I thought they were the much hungrier team. I felt Edmonton never really had a strong push for an extended period of time at any time in the game, right? So I will we'll see what the future holds, but we can see what the future holds for the Edmonton Oilers. I think the next few weeks, I get they're emotional. If you made decisions today, it'd be fire them all. I understand it. Right now, that might happen, but there's going to be some changes, not just on the ice. There'll be changes everywhere, I think, in the organization. Not everybody in management's going to stay around, scouting, coaching, players. There's going to be some changes at different levels. Now, how severe are the changes? We'll see. We'll get to all that today. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, NHL playoffs still continue tonight. 3 game 6s as Tampa Bay and Montreal, Boston at home to Buffalo, and Utah home to Vegas. Those 3 teams, Utah, Boston, and Tampa Bay, are all trying to extend their playoff lives. Like, if none of them do, like, this will kind of just be a first round, like no game 7s. And none of the game 6s have been like rivetingly awesome. Minnesota was better. Anaheim was better. Pitt and Philly was close, but not a lot going on. Right? Colorado spanks LA. Ottawa gets spanked by Carolina. I don't know if the first round's been great as previous years, but that could all change if you get 3 game 7s on Sunday, which could happen if those teams win tonight. Also, NBA playoffs. The Toronto Raptors need a win. Ingram probably not going to go, so not good for them. Orlando, can they pull off the big upset tonight? That's a game to watch. The number 8 seed, can they defeat the Pistons, or can the Pistons come back from the 3-1 deficit? They won game 5. They will try to win game 6. And the Lakers, first 2 chances to knock out the Rockets failed. So now they're in game 6 tonight. Can they do it? We will see. And hey, how about the 76ers? Could they come back? Now, you know what? You're down 3-1. If you lose in 7, just means you extended to 7. But that would be that'd be quite the comeback for them. Also, how about the Nuggets losing to the Timberwolves without the Ant-Man? Are you kidding me? Good on Minnesota. How about Minnesota, Timberwolves, and the Wild? First time ever both teams are going to have won a playoff series at the same time. Ever. So Minnesota is loving life right now. We'll get to the your thoughts, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Lots to discuss. We're going to have some open line time. And I'm curious, what would be your first move if you're the owner, Daryl Cates? What do you think's the first move of the offseason for the Edmonton Oilers? Let us know, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. My thoughts on the Oilers and where they go from here. This is an important offseason, but I'm not sold that it's drastically more important than other off seasons. The Oilers' goal at the start of this year was no different than it has been at the start of the last 2. They thought they were a cup contender, and they wanted to win the cup. They came up short every year. This time they came up way shorter than they did the last 2 years. And I noticed a little bit of revisionist history today online. I don't know if it's that accurate. People are talking about, again, I was listening to Sirius earlier on the National. They're talking, the Oilers' penalty kill was a strength in 24. Yeah, in the playoffs. But the exact same penalty killers were league average 79.5% the entire year. And then they got red hot for 22 games. It was great. Actually, it was 25 games. It was awesome, right? It was a good run. But that wasn't the norm. They got hot for the playoffs. Same guys in the regular season, and mostly the same guys the next year, except Ryan McLeod. He got dealt. Right? Warren Fogle was never really a regular penalty killer, right? If you look at the numbers. And now if people want to say, hey, I wish the Oilers still had Holloway and Broberg, I can listen to that one. The Ryan McLeod one, I can't really get behind because Ryan McLeod was traded straight up for Matt Savoy. So this is Matt Savoy's rookie season in the NHL. And he played the most penalty kill minutes of any Edmonton forward. Ryan McLeod played the most penalty kill minutes of any Buffalo forward. Matt Savoy was on the ice for 17 goals against. McLeod was on for 27. Now, McLeod was on for more minutes because they took more penalties. But their goals against per 60, Ryan McLeod was higher. And it's not like, the Oilers were a juggernaut penalty killing team in the regular season. They were actually brutal, right? The Oilers were what? 20, did they end up being 20th? 21st is where they were on the penalty kill. I think it was this year in the regular season. Right? Not great. So 20th, excuse me, at 77.8. Buffalo, their penalty kill was a little bit better. They took more penalties for sure. It was 81.9%. But Ryan McLeod's goals against per 60, higher than Matt Savoy. The Ryan McLeod one I just can't buy because I think Matt Savoy is a player, and penalty kill is just one aspect. Look at their stat lines for a guy who was a rookie. Now, did Matt Savoy struggle his first year in the playoffs? Yeah, because he's a rookie. And I told everybody, don't expect rookies to be difference makers in the postseason. It's extremely rare. It's not impossible. It's just extremely rare. Right? So that to me wasn't a surprise. Ryan McLeod had 14 goals in the right now. He had 50 points, played a lot of minutes. Right? Played 4 more minutes a game than Matt Savoy. Matt Savoy finished the season as a rookie with 37 points, 18 goals. It's a pretty good rookie season in the NHL. So if you want to say, hey, Holloway, Broberg, I can listen to that one for certain. The McLeod Savoy one, I can't get behind that. I honestly think that's a trade. It's worked out well for both teams. And the way Savoy played in his first rookie season, I think, not first rookie season, double entendre, his first season, because that's the same thing. I think he's got a much higher ceiling. But the other fact of the matter is the Oilers' penalty kill has not been a strength for years. It got hot for one playoff stretch. Because here's the Oilers' penalty kill for the last 3 seasons. 2024 regular season, 79.5%. Then it got to 94% in the playoffs. 25 season, 78.2%. In the playoffs, 67.1%. This year, 77.8%. Playoffs, 50%. Now, if you go look at the players who were on the 24 team to the 25 playoff team, it wasn't the forwards they missed. It was Vinny Desharnais and Cody Ceci. Right? And, hey, I've said this a long time for Cody Ceci. Cody Ceci took a lot of flack in Edmonton. Oh, he's not a puck-moving defenseman. There's more to the game than puck-moving defenseman, for God's sakes. Right? You know what? Now there's 5-on-5 play, and I know people are going to look at his expected goals. I look at Cody Ceci for what he was and what he got paid. I had no problem with him. It's a $3.25 million defenseman. But do I like Connor Murphy? Yeah, I like Connor Murphy. I have no problem with that. And you basically went from Ceci to Wallman because they had Kulak and Ekholm and Nurse with Ceci. Then it was Ceci was gone, Wallman came in. Right now, he's not a pure righty. But Wallman played pretty well last year in the postseason. I don't have big of an issue with him. The Oilers' penalty kill this year was disgustingly bad. It's hard to win a series. Ask Dallas. Minnesota did manage to do it because they were great 5-on-5. And Dallas only scored 4 goals. Like Dallas's 5-on-5 play was like the Oilers' penalty kill. Brutal. They scored 4 goals 5-on-5 the entire series. The Oilers' penalty kill allowed 8 goals. 8 in like 22 minutes. It's awful. So when you look at the Oilers, who are going to be their penalty killers next year? Matt Savoy up front. I don't want Evan Bouchard on the penalty kill. I don't want Connor McDavid on the penalty kill. I don't want Leon Draisaitl on the penalty kill. Who's ever building the team, if it's Stan Bowman, then ensure, and who's ever the coach, if it's Knobloch, you're going to tell yourself, on May 10th, guess what? We're building our team so those guys aren't penalty killing. We don't need them to. Okay, why? Right? Have other guys allowed to feel part of the team to play. That's what they got to do. Now, if you want to have them, injuries come and, it's 10 seconds here, whatever. I'm talking regular rotation, not having it. I don't need it. Bouchard's not a dominant penalty killer to the point you're like, oh my God, this guy's got to be on the penalty kill. He's okay, but I don't need it. I re-sign Connor Murphy and I say him and Emberson, they can be my penalty killers. Right now, Matthias Ekholm. Is next year the year that Matthias Ekholm moves down the lineup 5-on-5? He might be. His contract says he is. It could be. Not a guarantee, but it could be. What about Darnell Nurse? Because I know there's a lot of people, hey, trade Darnell Nurse. Now remember, and a lot of people like, you got to listen to McDavid. Keep in mind, McDavid and Draisaitl have been very pro supporters of Darnell Nurse. And you can say it's unlucky. I would argue that when you have that many own goals, at some point, you have to ask the question, is your positioning good enough? At least ask the question. Go over all the film. Is it just unlucky? Are your feet pointing in the right direction? Where are you? Is your body positioning good? Why are you trying to cross-check a guy in front of the net rather than play a stick? Cross-checking them in the back does nothing. Why aren't you tying up a stick? Right? There's all sorts of other questions. Is Mark Stewart the guy to run the power play, a penalty kill? Right? Is he the guy? Stats would say no. So if Chris Knobloch's back as head coach, you got to bring in another experienced assistant coach. The Oilers coaching staff didn't have the experience of other coaching staffs. That's just fact. Lots of NHL coaching staffs have a head coach and an assistant coach who used to be a head coach. Not all of them. A strong majority of them do. Well, that's something you have to look at. And then, which players are going, which players are staying. If you look at the Oilers right now on the roster for next season, we know who they have signed. Right? Obviously, there's a fair big name of players in McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, Podkolzin, Savoy, and then Frederick, Janmark, and Szymanski. So they have 9 forwards signed. They also have Ike Howard in the minors and Colton Dawson RFA. It's not going to have a huge qualifying offer. I don't see any reason why he's not signed. So then there's really 11. UFAs, Dickinson, Kapanen, Roslovic, Henrique, Jones, and Lazar. So if you look at where guys fit in, I would say Kasperi Kapanen amongst the forwards, he's my number one player I want to re-sign amongst the forwards as a UFA. No question in my mind. Can kill penalties, can score 5-on-5, can be physical, can skate, like a lot about him. Now, I'm not overpaying him, right? Luckily for the Oilers, Kapanen didn't play a lot of games in the regular season. So you don't have the big numbers because you can't prorate it. You're not going to look, well, in 40 games, I scored this. Yeah, but what'd you do in the other 40? Right? That's just the harsh reality of the negotiation. And so Kapanen, well, he was on pace to be close to a 20-goal scorer. He wasn't because he wasn't in the lineup often enough. Like if you play 18 games or score 18 goals in 60, it's a different conversation. But he had 8 in 41, right? So 16 goal score. Great. Not going to shouldn't command huge. Now, he was excellent in the postseason for the Oilers, right? 4 goals, 2 assists, point-a-game player. Awesome. He's got 7 goals in the last 18 playoff games. It's excellent production for him with the Oilers. You want to sign him, right term in AAV. You got to avoid another Trent Frederick term contract, right? The Oilers don't need those. Now, Kasperi Kapanen, I could understand if he says, you know what? The free agent pool isn't very deep. I'm 29 years of age, turning 30 in July. This might be my last time to really cash in. And teams do value how you play in the playoffs. It's why Jack Roslovic, who didn't score a goal, hit a bar yesterday. He cost himself money. That's just how it works. Even though he had a good regular season, third time in his career he scored 20 goals, he'll be worth something. But unfortunately, A lot of teams are going to look. Now, he could probably sign on a bottom feeder team for more money. But if he wants to be in a competitive team, he's probably got to take less money because they're going to look at the playoff production and be like, do we want to give you big money? Right? That's just the truth. Now, on the back end, Bouchard, Wallman, Ekholm, Emberson, Nurse are all under contract, just over $32 million. Murphy's a UFA, Stashie's an RFA. If Bowman sticks here, I'm sure they're going to qualify Stastny because you don't want to look like you just gave away a draft pick for nothing. But if there's new management, this is how it works. The new management comes in. They're not tied to any of the players. You don't have to worry about, well, if you let this guy go, it looks bad. Wasn't my signing. Like, I look at Spencer Stastny, I'm kind of like, okay, he's a Jag. He's just another guy. Can he play in the NHL? Yes. What does he do exceptionally well? Nothing. Right? Like, he's not a big hitter. He's not a big body. He's not a great puck mover. So what's he bringing? Like, honestly, what's he bringing? What is his claim to fame as an NHL defenseman? What's he going to do? So I've seen a lot of people, you got to sign him. I'm like, why? I'm not locked in on him. Just for me, because I'm not sure exactly what it is he does. Like, is he a great penalty killer? He's definitely not a power play guy. He's not a shutdown defender. So what would he be? Murphy, I know exactly what I'm getting. Hard-nosed player. And I talked to Connor after his first playoff experience, and it was obviously great for him. He hadn't had fans in the stands. Obviously, he's probably not happy with losing out in 6 games, of course. But he told me flat out, he goes, you know what? I've made enough money. I don't need to chase money at this stage of my career. Of course, you want a fair deal, but I don't think Connor Murphy is going to be one to say, you know what? I got to maximize my next contract. Right? He's made good money in his career. Right? He's had, I think, the last, what are we talking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years. Those last 11 years, minimum 3.85 mil, maximum 4.4. Right? Because he had one contract that was 6 years at 3.8, and then he had 5 years at 4.4. So do the math. It's just around 4.1 mil. Right? So the guy's made over $40 million. He's done very well for himself. So would a 2-year deal, 3-year deal interest him? Yeah, I think it would. What's the money going to be? I don't think it has to be, like, he's now 33. I don't think it has to be 4.4. And I was actually sorry, it was 10 years. It was because I counted that he just signed a 4-year deal at 4.4. Wasn't a 5-year deal. So my bad. But I think that's a guy I would like to sign because I know he's a very specific type of player. Plays hard, good penalty killer, block shots. That's what he does. Right? That's what he does. It's no different than Jason Dickinson. The Edmonton Oilers need guys who have defense-first mentality. It's still the weakness of the team. So Dickinson, Murphy are guys that I'd want to re-sign if I'm Edmonton. For the right price, I understand. It's got to be for the right price. No question. But, Dickinson, in an ideal world, he's a little bit better face-off guy. But, no, I have no idea. Didn't have a conversation with him. He's banged up. Didn't see him a lot. Right? Like, what he really wanted to get back in the playoffs because he hadn't been there since with Dallas in the bubble. And they made it all the way to the Cup final. No fans, though, but still. And since then, hadn't had a sniff. Was in Vancouver, they missed. Then he went to Chicago, and they weren't close. So just competing, even though he was banged up, he loved it. But I think when I look at the Oilers, what are things they need? Play better defense. If I'm listing the top 5 things on the Oilers to improve, it's all defense related. It's not offensive related. Better goaltending, better defensive structure, better penalty kill, better in front of the net. It's all defensive. Those are the top 5 things. There should be no mention of offense. We know the Oilers can score. They got enough guys that can score. It's not a problem. It's can they limit goals against? And guess what? They've yet to solve that problem. So goaltending, defensive play, penalty killers, that's what I'm looking for. Whether it's Stan Bowman, who's ever in charge. Because I honestly, I can't say with confidence that I think that the management is going to be back. Daryl Cates is an owner. He wants to win. Connor McDavid, we all know the truth here. Connor McDavid has 2 years left on his deal. You got to be competitive. You got to improve. Now, injuries did play a factor. Not going to lie, they played a factor, but they weren't hurt all year long when they couldn't string together 3 wins, and they needed a roadmap on how to play sound defensive hockey, right? So give me your thoughts, 833-401-1440. We'll open up the phone lines when we return on the Gregor Show. PlayAlberta.ca. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
50-50-50. Right now at Papa John's, you order carry out, you get 50% off the pizza, loaded with the toppings you love. You want pepperoni? You got it. You want the works? Done. Always made with our fresh, never frozen dough. Half the price for the pizza you already love. When you come grab it, just use promo code CO50. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. 50% off regular menu price pizzas. Carry out only. Use promo code CO50. Participating locations, restrictions apply.
Hold on to your hockey helmets, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 69-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadian and Coors Light for $5.75. Plus, OTR's TVs are so clear, you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? Score and win every game night during Edmonton's playoff run with specials starting 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksyeg.com.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your picks. Edmonton's home for sports is Sports 1440.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Want to invest in Alberta's workforce, fill your talent pipeline, and get funding? Careers, the next generation connects employers with motivated, pre-vetted youth through funded internships. Easy, impactful, and risk-free.
When you work with a group like Careers who have experience in that area, they can demystify and navigate all the complex steps and stakeholders that have to be involved.
Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1, saving you money with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2, water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3, saving you more money with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Whether you're refinancing or buying your first home, mortgages are easier with help from a neighbor. At Vision Credit Union, you get face-to-face guidance from local lenders who know the market because, well, they live here too. They'll look at your whole financial picture with practical advice for payments, renewals, refinancing, and what makes sense long-term. Get a more neighborly mortgage. Contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes, and they've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 1-888-888-5998 or visit mortgagestogo.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk. The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.228, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're doing all right. You know what? I would say it's kind of a mixed bag. Probably a lot of people, if you watched all season long, there was never, I think, a max high expectation that the Oilers, like you probably thought, hey, I'd like the Oilers to win, but I don't know if losing this series the way it unfolded. Well, I don't know if anybody predicted 50% penalty kill. Come on, that's pretty bad. But the Oilers have been inconsistent all year long, and they were inconsistent again in the series. Couldn't hold a lead. Look how many times they had a lead and couldn't hold it. Second periods were bad. Penalty kill was awful. So we'll discuss it. We got a lot of texts, so you can take your calls. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. As we go to Paris. Paris, what's on your mind?
Hey, how you doing, Gregor? Big fan of your show. I was just wondering what you thought of Nuge's play, being a leader on the team, going on the run the last 2 years. I just didn't think he had that compete level. What do you think?
Well, if I look at the Oilers and I look at guys where I say, okay, expectations, what they were for me, Nugent Hopkins wouldn't, like, I look at guys, Bouchard, McDavid, those guys, 5-on-5, I probably had a bigger concern with, considering just how many goals against they were on for, and then I look at their production. So, like, Nugent Hopkins kind of is what he is. He's never been, he's not an overly physical player. He's never been a huge point producer, but he had 4 points 5-on-5 in the playoffs. Bouchard had 3, McDavid had 2. Like, Nuge probably wouldn't be at the top of my list of guys I was that concerned with in how he performed. Like, I thought he actually stepped up and did pretty well in the game they won. Is like that line, they were their best line when they won game 5, right? Him, Podkolzin, and Hyman. So not saying he was the ringleader, but he was part of it. So yeah, Nuge wouldn't be in the top of my probably 5 or 6 guys. Like, everybody could play better in the series because they lost, but I didn't think he was a big red flag for me.
Okay, perfect.
All right, man.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for the call. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Let's get to Woody. Woody, what's on your mind?
Hey, Jason, how are you?
Excellent.
Well, just a little, kind of was listening to you, and I kind of agree. Like I said, with the Oilers, to me, it almost looked like we lacked compete. I don't know if it's a size thing or fighting the dog. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But to me, that was one of the biggest things I see. It didn't seem like we were winning any battles, and it just didn't seem like we had, I don't know what you'd call it. We just seem to be lacking something, and I don't know what it is. I think I'd like to think it was more some coaching, but I'm just a little disappointed in what I thought was our effort.
Well, I agree with you last night. I didn't, for a team facing elimination last night, and I don't know, maybe just all the injuries caught up to them. I don't know, but I never felt like they were in that game, right? I didn't feel they were in the game.
Not at all, but we just weren't winning battles. I thought, when we went down 3-0 in the first, I thought, okay, we've been bad in the second, but I thought we'd come out with a little more bite, a little more, something, but we just came out flat, and it just seemed like, I don't know if, like you said, we were just injured to the point where we just didn't have it. But that was probably my biggest disappointment. And through the whole series, we'd have flashes where we battle hard, win battles, and then it just seemed like we just weren't there. Like Anaheim's, all their skill guys were physical. Everybody was physical. And for us, it was hit and miss. Like we had 2-3 players, Murphy and Podkolzin, but once we got past those guys, we just didn't seem to have that physical battle.
Yeah, no, it's fair. Hey, I think the Oilers, Colton Dock, I like for sure. Zach Hyman was clearly banged up. You just got to look at his inability to be physical compared to previous years. He's clearly banged up, right? And so injuries aren't an excuse. Injuries have nothing to do with the Oilers' inability to hold a lead or kill a penalty. But I think if we're talking just on pure physical play, Zach Hyman was clearly ailing because he was kind of a shadow of himself physically.
Agreed. I do agree. But that's it. That's what I was thinking. Like I said, my biggest disappointment is that. So anyway, I'm going to listen to the rest of the show. Enjoy it. Thank you.
Appreciate it. There you go. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Your thoughts on the Oilers. We got boatloads of texts coming in. Let's go to Greater Man Jay. Jay, how you doing?
Oh, you heartbroken, but I wasn't, it was a rough year for us fans, the loyal fans. I just thought, I don't know, it felt like a different year. Even though we picked up, acquired some pieces, I thought we got a little bit deeper. It's just with the injuries and like how the year went, we could barely string together a 50-50 game. It's just frustrating. I thought this year we might sneak into the Cup back door, but I knew it was going to be a rough run, right?
Yeah. Well, this year there was definitely lower expectations. I think the diehard fans still were hoping the team would win, but probably not expecting them to win. Is that fair?
Yeah, totally. Like my dad was more of a realist. He's seen it from the start, and he's like, I don't think we have it this year, but I'm sort of like an optimist. So I'm just a loyal fan. So I I think they can, right? But, just a tough year, tough loss to swallow too, with, especially with the PK doing so horrible. I wasn't expecting the Ducks to run 50% either, right? So.
No, not at all. What would be your first move? What's your main priority that the Oilers have to improve in the offseason?
I think we just have to sit and breathe a little bit, take in some, man, I don't know. Maybe I'd hope to get Murphy and Dickinson back, and I don't know if the management's going to escape unscathed here, but we'll have to see.
All right, thanks, man. Have a good one.
You too.
833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Guys, the number one question has to be goalie. Until that's solved, nothing else is going to matter. From Tim, it's probably fair. It's a big one. The problem for the Oilers is, so right now, today, they have just under $8 million tied up in goaltending. Tristan Jarry and $2.6 million in a buyout for Jack Campbell. Now, this is the final year of the big, next year, Jack Campbell drops down to $1.3 million. So still, though, not ideal. And it's just the ghost of goalies past still just emanates around him. It's been a problem for multiple different management teams. They haven't found a way to really solve it. Now, get rid of Stuart, because you can get mad at Stu Skinner all you want, but Stu Skinner was still the starting goalie for the vast majority of games that got your team to 2 Stanley Cup finals. Now, I'm not saying if they had Stu Skinner this year that they would have won. Far from it. But had they not made that, now, if they don't make that trade, do they call up Connor Ingram? I'll never know. Because the one thing Stu Skinner does, he doesn't get hurt. Right? Tristan Jarry came in, played 2 games, got hurt. And then they called up Connor Ingram. And Ingram played fine. But you had other options. Even just a Michael DiPietro. Now, I don't know if Michael DiPietro would have been good. But it would have cost you nothing to try it. Could have claimed him on waivers. Look at the year he had again in the AHL. It's like 3 consecutive seasons. Now, maybe he'll never be an NHL goalie. I don't know. But you could have done that rather than give up Kulak and a second and take on $5.375 million for 2 more years. If you wanted to move on from Skinner at the end of this year, you just walk away, cost you nothing, and you're looking and say, wow, now I have a whole clean slate on what I want to do with my goaltending. But now, Stan Bowman's going to have to clean up the mess. Moving Jarry, I don't know how realistic that is, honestly. Could he play better? Yeah, probably. Team defense plays better. There's lots of combinations. But all I know is outside of like Skinner's probably, it's funny. Like Skinner can have the off nights for sure, but then he can have stretches where he's pretty good. They haven't had any other goalie post as many good games as Skinner in the playoffs. People focus on the bad ones, and that's fair. But name a goalie who's had as many good games as Skinner in the playoffs for Edmonton the last 5 years. The answer is none. Let's go to Hazen. Hazen, you're on the air. What's on your mind?
Hey, Greggs. I'm not even going to say a heartbreaking season. The proof was kind of in the pudding through the course of an 82-game season with this team. So yeah, I'm not like, obviously it's disappointing, but McDavid's played 288 some games over the last 3 years. Rest is definitely needed for this group. But just two questions for you here. Obviously, the grocery list for the team for this off season is hefty. But one of my questions being Matty Savoy. He's eligible to sign an extension July 1. Me personally, I think that's a top 3 a move that they gotta try to get done here. And then another question for you. Obviously, Ike Howard's first full pro year. But if you can see a move where we increase the compete level immediately with this team, if that's being a top 6 forward who can play with McDavid or Leon, or addressing goal. I don't know how easy that's going to be, but can you see maybe Howard? I don't want to see him go, but can you see him potentially being a trade chip? We don't have a lot in the cupboard to kind of offer, obviously picks and such like that. But yeah, those are my two questions. Savoy extension, and then if you see a deal that you can bring in a proven top 6 winger or address the goaltending, would Howard be a trade chip in your opinion?
All right. Okay. Appreciate the call. I look at well, first of all, let's go with Howard. I don't really think Edmonton needs another top 6 winger for sure. To me, they're more than fine there. Goal scoring is not the problem. Podkolzin, Kapanen, Hyman, Savoy, those, if you think Nugent Hopkins is a third-line player now, but those are guys that I'd be fine with. A mixture of different skill set, I have no problem with it. Now, Howard can come in and push for that. Would he be, like, if I had to choose between Howard and Savoy, if I had to move one, I'm just saying if I had to, then I would move Howard, because Matt Savoy can kill penalties and he has an offensive upside. Howard's not a penalty kill. So, it gives you a little bit of different maneuverability and flexibility. I want guys who can do more things. They're both quick, so that part's fine. But if I'm moving Howard, it would probably have to be, I guess, to get a goalie, right? Like if that's the piece I got to dangle, there's lots of guys I would move out to get a goalie, right? Like Hellebuck's the name. There's lots of talk about what's going to go on in Winnipeg, and what would it cost to get Hellebuck? Right? We could have a lot of fun with that over time. I haven't looked into it realistically to see, okay, what do they need? The other thing I think Edmonton needs that's abundantly clear to me is a right shot center. And so if you have Draisaitl and you have McDavid, clearly those are your top 2 centers. Not playing them together. I'm keeping them on their own line. And if I bring back Dickinson, well, he's my 3rd-line center. I need a 4th-line center. As much as I like Josh Szymanski, I need a right shot. I think that became abundantly clear at times in the playoffs. You need a right shot center, especially one who can kill penalties. That's what I'd be looking for. Like, it's a small thing. I don't think that's a huge, but it's an important role. It's an important role. It's not a do-all, end-all. I understand it. If the guy does lots of things really well, you can get away with a lefty. But for me, the need to have a right shot center just gives you some other opportunities at key faceoffs. Not every faceoff, just the key ones. And now that might be an acquisition at the trade deadline. I will say that, because a 4th-line center, you're not going to have to pay a boatload to get one. So that is an option, but that's what I'd look at. Now let's get to Rowdy. Rowdy, how you doing?
Hey, good, Gregor. How are you doing?
Excellent.
Forgive my cold here. Yeah, I don't know. I had a bad feeling about, in my view, this has got to be McDavid's, he was disappointed, losing the cup, but this year was supposed to be, gold medal for sure, and Stanley Cup. And I said right at the start of the year that there was no way I would bet anything that the Oilers weren't making it back to the finals. They might, Canada probably should have won they should have won the gold, but we got some issues. I don't know. I think Nauber's probably lost. I don't know if he's lost the room, but he maybe it's time to go. I like Savoy. I like the pickups they got. Dickinson. Hyman wasn't right. Was Hyman hurt? Because he sure was not, his normal self in the playoffs. Like, running guys and, I don't know, he must have been hurt his wrist. He had something on his wrist I saw a couple of times, but.
Well, the wrist injury is what injured last year. I think he had a different ailment in the playoffs, actually, because I talked to Zach a lot. His wrist had gotten stronger. I saw just the amount of tape he had on at the start of the year compared to the middle and the end of the year was getting less all the time. So that was good. But I think he had another ailment. And I really wonder if it was a shoulder for him. Like there's something there. He just couldn't hit. Yeah. And it was obvious just on how he forechecked.
Yeah. We've got Doc with Dickinson and, maybe I don't know what they're going to do with Frederick, and I really don't know what they're going to do in goal. Like you look at Ingram and he looks really good sometimes, and then he looks a little unsure, Tristan is awful. Like, I don't know what happened to his game, but that's what they're going to have to do. And I do agree with, I see they just signed, just came on the wire here. They just signed, what's his Holloway to 5 years, $38.75 million.
The Blues did. So, yeah.
Just dropped. Yeah. But that hurt. And, having Rico out, in the playoffs, not killing penalties killed us. We need, there's definitely some changes that are going to happen. What do you think? Like, do you think they're going to shake her right up, like the management and
I definitely think it's a significant possibility. Like my one thing that I just can't shake, and I don't have this, haven't talked to anybody about this, but I know that Daryl Cates really values and trusts Paul Coffey's opinion. And I could see Paul Coffey not like in a bigger role, not just an assistant coach. Right?
You think he'd be a head coach? You think?
No. Not in coaching at all. Right? In a bigger role. In management or president. I have no idea if he wants it. I know what Daryl Cates, how he views him. Yeah. And so that's the one name that I've had a few people mention. I'm like, okay, well, that means that I have to make some significant changes. Right. And so it all depends. Like, I don't know the contract status. Like, does he want to pay a lot of people not to work for him? Right. Like, I know a lot of people talk about Knobloch. Well, Knobloch's extension kicks in next season. So
I know.
Now you're going to, maybe the appetite of the owner is like, yeah, okay, I'll pay a coach, but I can't say that with certain, like I could see, he's like, wait a sec, you want me now to pay 2 coaches? Right. Cause Knobloch's you're not going to stay around as an assistant coach, right? That's not going to happen.
No.
So so I don't know, like, I know it's easy for everybody to say, just fire the coach, but I have to look at it from a rational standpoint as an owner of a team. Do I want to pay multiple coaches and multiple presidents and multiple general managers? Like the owners have made it to 2 Stanley Cup finals in a row. Like, it's not like this team hasn't had any success. They didn't have a good year this year. Totally valid. So that's why I believe that, they need to take some time and do a not an emotional decision, because you have an emotional decision. All that happens then is usually you make more bad decisions, right? Like I thought Edmonton rushed. Like, I thought Edmonton,
everybody on the first.
No, I just thought Edmonton rushed their decisions in the summer of 24 after losing the cup in Game 7, and some of those decisions, hurt the organization. Broberg, Holloway, like I said I understood why they didn't match Broberg at the time because they had a lot of left defensemen. I get it, but the Holloway one, I was like, it was $2.2 million. I would have matched that one for sure, and kind of lived with it. But they can't if they make rash emotional decisions, usually those are the wrong decisions. So I would hope that the owner and, Jackson and everybody who's involved says, okay, let's breathe. Let's exhale here before we rush into making a bad decision, right? Like, you don't have to, you look at right now, if you're really like, oh my God, I got to get, like, Paul Coffey isn't going to another organization if you think he's the guy. I don't know if they do or not. I'm just saying that. So they have a little bit of, when you have time, use it. They should use some time here for at least a few weeks.
Would you, one more question. Would you look to offer sheet a goalie if there was one out there?
No, I'm not a big fan of offer sheets because it's going to cost you a lot to, and I don't think there's any goalie in an offer sheet. Like, I'll say this, if Scott Wedgwood makes it to unrestricted free agency, that's the guy I'd look at. Because if he has a good season and they've already got Mackenzie Blackwood, now maybe they're going to sign both. And Colorado's like, hey, let's just keep both of them. But I just wonder if Scott Wedgwood, who looks and says, hey, man, actually, now that I say that, he's got one more year. I thought he was a free agent this summer. He's got one more year. So that option's out the window. So I don't know what there's no clear-cut obvious goalie to look at, but the organization has to do a better job evaluating goalies. I think that's obvious because the ones they brought in have not. Well, Ingram was okay, but Jari, no. Jack Campbell, no, hasn't worked. Right, so they got to make a good decision. Rowdy, I appreciate it, buddy. We're a little late. I got to get to break. Thanks for this. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. We'll take a quick break. We'll return. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
50-50-50. Right now at Papa John's, you order carry out, you get 50% off the pizza, loaded with the toppings you love. You want pepperoni? You got it. You want the works? Done. Always made with our fresh, never frozen dough. Half the price for the pizza you already love. When you come grab it, just use promo code CO50. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. 50% off regular menu price pizzas. Carry out only. Use promo code CO50. Participating locations, restrictions may apply.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
Canadian Tire's Big Spring Tire Sale is back. Save up to 25% on quality tire brands including Continental, Michelin, Motomaster, and Pirelli until May 21st. Conditions apply. Details online.
Spring savings at Pet Value. Save $10 on select dry dog food from Go, Solutions, and Origin Amazing Grains. Shop your local Pet Value and petvalue.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at Cantork.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
2:52. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As we continue to roll, man, the text line is heating up. I like it. Lots of different thoughts, lots of opinions. Hey, guys, who would be trade chips for the orders from Andrew? Well, it all depends, Andrew. And by the way, the Gregor Show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. When you look at trade chips, now there's different trade chips. Some are worth more. Some are ones that you might want to move out, right? I think it's time to have a serious conversation on the orders, on seeing what they do with Darnell Nurse. Now, he obviously has to agree to it, right? I have no idea. I've never broached the subject with him. Wouldn't say I have a close relationship at all with him. I have no idea where he'd come out on. I don't think he would agree to want to get traded to a team that has no chance, considering he's been close, right? So you have to find out. Would teams take Darnell Nurse? Yes. Are they paying huge return? No. Might have to retain $1 million or $2 million. All depends on kind of what the deal. But remember, if you do trade Darnell Nurse, you have to have someone that you feel, okay, we got to make sure we have somebody that can be at least a third pair defenseman, right? Then Wallman maybe plays with Bouchard. Ekholm plays with Murphy if we bring him back. And then we need another third pair left defenseman, right? Because I'm not sold on Spencer Stastny. My third pair defenseman on my team, if I'm building the team, is either going to be a small guy who's an elite puck mover, which he's not, and the guy plays in the power play, right? So he's neither of those. So then my next one is big defenseman who kills penalties and can play with an edge. Doesn't have that. So I'm not sold on him necessarily being on the team, right? I think another guy you look at, like for real trade chips, if they're like, hey, we want to make some moves, Matt Savoy, he'd be a big trade chip, to be honest. I'm not saying I would trade him. I wouldn't personally, but would he be a chip? Of course. Isaac Howard would be one. Josh Szymanski would be one. Right? Colton Dog, younger guys, likely it, right? Trent Frederick's a guy you'd probably want to trade. I'm not saying anybody's going to take him, but he's a chip that you'd like to trade, right? Like, not all trade chips are always the ones that you're like, hey, they're going to get great returns, right? Sometimes you're like, hey, like Trent Frederick, that's a contract that the term from day one, we all said the term, yikes, right? $3.85 million. Could Trent Frederick be the player he was in Boston? Maybe again. I don't know if he'll do it here. Just didn't seem to fit in here, right? Coach didn't like him. Now, maybe a different coach comes and that would change things. It's happened before. Guys get a new lease on life. Like, look at Podkolzin, right? People are going to look at Podkolzin and say, how the hell did Rick Tocchet not like Podkolzin? Think about that. Rick Tocchet, hard-nosed guy, but Podkolzin was somebody that they didn't see eye to eye with for whatever reason. Younger player, inconsistent. Now, Frederick's older, so a lot of people are like, oh, geez, maybe the downside is already coming. So that's probably, it's not a fair example, but the point is, coach, some players, look at Anthony Mantha. Everybody thought he was a bum. Couldn't do anything. No one, you got a 1-year deal. Then he scores 33 goals. Right now, I'm not saying Frederick's ever going to do that, but could Frederick get back to being a 15, 16 goal guy? Right? Anthony Mantha had scored 24 goals and 25 goals in 2018 and 19. Right? Then he had a 23 goal season in 24. Like, he got hurt last year with the Flames, didn't play very much. That's a guy, like, you look at his size, lots of teams might say, because skills never been the issue with Anthony Mantha. Injuries a little bit. Probably, some of the bigger problems with him when you look at it, right? He only played in 19, he played 67 games, and the next year he played 43, so he missed 30 games. The following year, he played actually all 56 games. Then in 22, he missed 45 games. Then he got into, then he missed 15. Then he got traded. He missed 8 games. Then last year, he missed 69 games. So injury is probably the bigger issue with Mantha, if you could ever get him healthy. But the other concern for him is, in his career, he's played 20 playoff games and he has no goals. Right? That's going to cost him money if he wants to go to a competitive team. Just like Jack Roslovic. Jack Roslovic was an unreal signing by Stan Bowman. Unreal. $1.5 million, scores you 20-plus goals. Thank you very much. Wasn't a defensive liability? No problem. Now in the playoffs, hey, maybe if he scores that goal last night off the bar, right? Who knows what happens to the game? Does that get him going? You never know. It's a big what if. But when I look at the Oilers, trade chips, they don't have a lot of big ones, but they don't need they need a goalie. But if you look at the history of goalie trades, and that's what makes the Jari trade even worse, is the Oilers gave up Skinner, and they gave up a Brett Kulak, and they gave up a second rounder. Go back and look at lots of other goalie trade histories. Right? You don't give up a ton. That's what's frustrating, I would think, for Oiler fans, and rightfully so. Should be frustrated. So, hey guys, what about Howard for Kosa? No brainer. Not sure if Detroit would do that deal from Don. Now I know because Detroit goaltending. Now it's a young goalie, but if you're the Edmonton Oilers, and the biggest thing people talk about is the Oilers during the McDavid era have done nothing to really give him a good goalie. Okay, now maybe Sebastian Kosa will be the guy. Maybe he will be. But would you be willing to put your career on it? Right? The guy's played one NHL game. He's played, this year in the American League, solid numbers, .915 save percentage. Playoffs, not great. That was last year in the playoffs, right? So he's a young guy, 6'7", he's huge. He has lots of the things you'd like. And young goalies can pop at any time. Would I take the risk on him? Yes. I think Howard might be too much. Honestly. Right? Because that so Kosa's, has he played 1, 2, does he require, I got to look. I think Kosa requires waivers next year, right? Because he's got 4 seasons as a goalie. And he played his first year in the ECHL, then he played in Grand Rapids. I got to double check that, but I think he requires waivers this coming season. Because you get 4 years for a goalie, right? A pro, you get 3 for a player. As long as you haven't played the minimum game requirement to require waivers. So, and I got to double check that. But if that's true, and I think it is, well, because they have, Trey Augustine, they're really high in him. Now, they might say, hey, we're going to put Augustine in the minors, and we're just going to keep Kosa as our backup, which is very possible. They could easily do that, right? Trey Augustine, young guy, he's coming out of college. I don't think he's NHL ready yet. So Detroit might say, we don't have to rush it. Maybe we're just going to keep both of them. And we have John Gibson for now. Trey Augustine could be our starter in the American League, and Kosa's our backup in the NHL. Very possible they could do that. All right? Especially with Kosa needing waivers. But if he was tradable, then yes, I would look at him for sure. So, hey guys, I'm okay with the Oilers losing the first round. I'm worn out from watching mediocre play and listening to their excuses. I'm glad to have my evenings back and will enjoy chilling in the nice weather. From Lou. Hey, Gregor, what about our goalies in the minors? Yeah, none of the Oilers goalies in the minors are ready. All right, Calvin Pickard, contract's over. Connor Unger. You hope that Connor Unger can maybe become a starter in the American League next year. Right? That's what it would be. He's got good numbers. Is he ready to be an NHL goalie who has a grand total of 13 American League games? Eek. I wouldn't go into this season saying Connor Unger is going to be my starting goalie. The Oilers need a starting goalie. If Connor Unger is my backup, I'm fine with that. They need a starting goalie. So Connor Unger is not the starting goalie yet. He's played 13 AHL games. And you know what? He has good numbers everywhere he goes, so I'll give him credit for that. But I would, again, if I'm the GM of a team that has Connor McDavid with 2 years on his deal, am I going to have Connor Unger on day one as my goalie? That's what, that. That's the challenge of Stan Bowman for next season. You have to try to make a right decision, but knowing that you're working with a short window here, that you could potentially lose McDavid if your team isn't competitive. Now, I think the Oilers are going to be competitive. Let me rephrase that. Stanley Cup competitive. That's what they're going to need. No doubt about it. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Take a quick break. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good. For professional property services you can feel good about. Get Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance, and more. Check out hiregood.ca. Hire Good. Stable jobs create stable lives.
The Sports 1440 update.
3 games tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Lightning Canadians from Montreal at 5. You got the Bruins and the Sabres at 5:30. Then at 8 o'clock, the Golden Knights trying to wrap up their series in Salt Lake City. The St. Louis Blues have signed Dylan Holloway to a 5-year contract extension with a $7.75 million AAV. Holloway, 24, appeared in 59 games for the Blues last season, ranking second on the team with 22 goals and 51 points. While John Cooper, Dan Muse, and Lenny Ruff were named the 3 finalists for the 2026 Jack Adams Award for Coach of the Year. The awards will be handed out later this spring. In the association tonight, Raptors trying to stay alive, hosting the Cavs, tip-off 5:30. Elsewhere, Lakers and Rockets will the Magic host the Pistons. Major League Baseball, Blue Jays are in action, taking on the Minnesota Twins once again. First pitch, 6:10. We'll have that game for you here on Sports 1440. Right now, 1 game underway, heading into the 9th. The Cubbies on top of the Diamondbacks by a score of 6-5. At the Cadillac Championship, Cameron Young atop the leaderboard at 12 under. Canadian Nick Taylor is 8 under par, while Taylor Prentice sitting at 6 under. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host Wanye Gretz, and we'll talk some Bruins and Sabres with Steve Conroy of the Boston Herald. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Yes, in Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
50-50-50. Right now at Papa John's, you order carry-out, you get 50% off the pizza, loaded with the toppings you love. You want pepperoni? You got it. You want the works? Done. Always made with our fresh, never frozen dough. Half the price for the pizza you already love. When you come grab it, just use promo code CO50. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. 50% off regular menu price pizzas. Carry out only. Use promo code CO50. Participating locations, restrictions may apply.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat, or golf trip? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer 3 different sizes of units to cater to your needs, and we provide first-class service at affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. Use code 1440 for 15% off at notalonecode.com. It's okay to not be okay.
The tents are up and the deals are out. The Brick's biggest sale of the season is on now. Take up to 60% off clearance items in the tents. Sofas start at $399 and save up to 50% on select mattresses. Plus, only until Monday, take until 2030 to pay with 0% interest. Get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Bricks tent sale. OAC, see in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Hi, it's Jason McCoy. You know, music's given me a lot of great moments, but nothing means more than time with my dad. When he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, a simple PSA blood test was key in detecting it early, and we got more years, more laughs, and more memories. Guys, it's a quick test that just might end up saving your life.
Join the Princess Auto Motorcycle Ride for Dad in Edmonton, Saturday, June 13th. Register or donate at ridefordad.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Emerald Equipment. Emerald Equipment is Edmonton's newest dealer for Yanmar compact equipment. Machines built tough for the jobs that don't quit. Get your new Yanmar compact track loaders with ASV Posi Track at Emerald Equipment.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Lovely, positive Friday. How are you? Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely day. Of course, I will say, you know what? Most Oilers fans are, I'm not going to say happy by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe realistic, probably a good word. Now, though, it's this is obviously an important offseason for the Edmonton Oilers because Connor McDavid's current final contract begins July 1st. 2-year deal. So there's a little bit more pressure on management, ownership to put a more productive team on the ice. At the same time, with all that being said, when I look at where areas that need to improve, management for sure, coaching, players, the Oilers, if you look at their regular season, when McDavid says they were average, he's right. Now, McDavid's point total is awesome. His defensive play, like the rest of the team, not good enough, right? And so for a guy who plays that much, I'm sure McDavid would be the first one to tell you, yeah, I got to be better defensively. Because other years, the Oilers have had bad goaltending that people didn't like. But guess what? McDavid still dominated 5-on-5. He didn't dominate this year at 5-on-5. You know, you look at the numbers. Like in the playoffs, like he was a minus player 5-on-5 in the playoffs this year. He got outscored 7-3. 2 years ago, it was even. 2 years ago, it was 28-14. Last year was even, 21-21, being 31-17 one year. So, you know what? When you struggle, every player has to look to say, okay, where can I be better? And I think McDavid would fall into the category, same thing, that he would need to be better defensively. That's not that he was awful, but just better. He's had years where he outscored the opponents by 20, 30, 5-on-5. Right now, if you don't love the goaltending, it's going to be hard to be plus 50 at 5-on-5. I get it. Okay? You can score a ton, but you know what? If you're not getting saves, and you know, but you look, I'm looking at his on ice save percentage. Fun fact: his on ice save percentage this year was higher than last year at 5-on-5. Now, keep in mind that this year, save percentages across the NHL are down. So you can't blame it on goaltending this year. His on-ice save percentage was actually higher than it was last year. So he, like everybody on the team, has to be better. But to me, this is a massive offseason for the Edmonton Oilers. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. And Texas coming up on the show today. We're going to hear from Livingston a little bit later on. We're going to go around the NHL. Craig Button, Speck, Cam Tate, Wanye Gretz will be by, and we'll have some more open line time as well. We got a lot of texts flying in. Man, I can't keep up to them, honestly. Like, there's in the triple digits of text messages like every 15 minutes. It's hard to keep track. So on our system, anyone, if I was able to see it, you could mark it down. So there's a lot here that are still green that I haven't even been able to get to. So it's a good thing. People are fired up. I like it. As Wanye Gretz from Owners Nation joins us. How you doing?
Well, you said some people are like cool with this. I'm not cool with it. Maybe in 48 hours I'll be cool with it. I'm not cool with it. I'm worried. See my boy Connor in the post-game show. He doesn't look thrilled. He's talking about average team with above average expectations.
Yeah. Well, that's truthful. Don't you think that's who they were?
This is my worry.
Yeah.
How many more years? We know we got 2.
Yeah. Hey, I understand it that if McDavid left, you'd think your odds of winning were lower. And I think it's true, right? I know the Oilers won without Gretzky, but they had a pretty good team and lots of other Hall of Famers around them. So I get that. Especially because I know there's a lot of people say, well, Gregor, if it doesn't work next year, you just trade McDavid in the summer. Well, I don't even know if that's that easy, Doug, because Connor McDavid has no movement clause. So if he would agree to a trade, hypothetically, and this is a hypothetical situation, anybody please don't tweet this. Gregor said to trade him. No, I'm not. I'm just saying hypothetically. You fast forward to next summer, whatever. They're like, oh, maybe we should trade him rather than lose him for nothing. Yeah, but he has to agree to the trade to go to a team that he's not going to want them to have to gut their team to get him. So I'm not even sure that's realistic, right? Like, it might be that the trade for McDavid is you trade his rights after the 2 years, in May or June to a team that gets an extra week or 2 opportunity to negotiate with him. That might be it. But hey, if the Oilers play well and they win in the next 2 years, then I think there's a really good chance he resigns. Because at that point, he's like, well, now I've won. Pressure's off. Leon Draisaitl's here. There's not many teams I can go to have a running mate that's good. So I'll stay here. So I get it. There is, I look at it more as a 2-year. A lot of people are saying it's one and done. Like, you got to win next year, else he's out. I don't necessarily believe that. You say, hey, because lots of things have to go right for you to win a cup. Number one, stay healthy. And so this is my thing for if Chris Knobloch comes back, there's a new coach, there's a new GM. The number one thing that I am sitting down when I talk to my captain is, guess what? Your time on ice in the regular season is going down. It's going down because I need you fully healthy. We can be good, and you can still be good in 21 minutes, right? Look at Kucherov. He scores a lot of points, plays 21 minutes. I don't even think he plays 21, actually. I'd have to double check that. But that's been my number one thing. I'm protecting my goal of the playoffs. I am. Now you're older. Young Connor McDavid, I get it. I didn't know he's young in the real world. But in hockey world, not that he's old, but I'm looking at it and say, why would I do it? Other teams are doing it. Like, look at Kucherov. He plays 20 minutes and 20 seconds. And McDavid plays 22:59. So he plays 2 minutes and 39 seconds more per game. And Kucherov averaged more points per game. McDavid had more points because he played every game. Kucherov missed 6 games. So you don't, that extra 1 or 2 minutes, if you're not worried about the personal thing, what are we talking about here? Get other guys more involved. Keep our guy fresh. That'd be my number one strategy going into next season. Is I'm going to build a team. I'm going to find some freaking penalty killers who can kill penalties and have a coach who's like, guess what? Podkolzin? Like, tell me why Podkolzin can't kill a penalty. Are you telling me his work ethic problem? No chance. I'm pretty sure he can understand a basic penalty kill. It's not that hard to read off of things. Like, there's no chance Podkolzin can't be a good penalty killer to me.
How much of the problems do you think are burnout related and how much of the problems are roster related? Is it players that aren't here, the players who are here? Do you think the whole team, you can't go to the cup final every year? you will have some measure of burnout at some point, which will show up either as injuries or as players playing below their potential.
Well, injuries, yes, but the injuries cropped up later in the year. It wasn't like these guys were playing hurt all year long. This team was an average team. All you got to do is look at their wins, right? What they have, 41 wins. They won half their games, average. So I look at this team. They were an average team all year long. They had a stretch in December where they were pretty good defensively. And then down the stretch, their last 10 games where they played a lot of San Jose's and Vancouver's where they were a good defensive team. But for the most part, like if we take their best, but then you look at their worst stretch of games defensively, it was awful. So not good enough. I don't know if I buy the wear and tear, because Florida and Tampa Bay in their third years, and this is recent, I'm not comparing them to different generations. I'm talking in 25, Florida, it was their third year in a row. They won the cup. They were a really good team. Tampa Bay went to the cup in their third year after winning 2 cups, right? And remember that the one year was the COVID year. And so when that season ended, it turned around, and you had the next year and it was a little bit shorter. So it is kind of different because it wasn't 3 full seasons, but the third year was. And there was a shorter time period of turnaround in between. So fatigue is maybe a small part of it, but I don't like to buy into that. To me, that's a big excuse. I think it's more roster construction wasn't good enough. And some of the players they had on the team did not play up to some. Collectively as a group, they still could not commit to playing good defense often enough. I don't blame it all on the system, some of it. I don't love the stretch pass. I'll agree with that. But their penalty kills been below average for 5 years now. So get better penalty killers or get a better penalty killing system. One of the two, or probably both.
What's the priorities for you in the offseason if you're Bowman?
Well, number 1, number 2, and number 3 is to solidify the goalie position. That has to be it's a Groundhog Day if they don't. Honestly, every other move, I'm not even sure it's going to matter. If they don't improve their goaltending, it's not going to matter. You can get better defensemen. You might even get a better system. But at the end of the day, if you don't have better, more consistent goaltending, it's not going to help you. Right? I liked lots of Connor Ingram's games, but then there's other games where you're like, meh. Right? Tristan Jarry had okay games, a lot of meh games. So what are they going to do? I don't think they can bring both of them back. So you got to figure out what you're going to do in goalie. But that has to be the number 1 priority. And then the other ones are kind of down the list for me. I think Dickinson and Murphy are 2 really key players to re-sign because of their mentality. They think defense first. That's what they do. They take pride in that. Sure, hey, Murphy chipped in a goal. Great. In big game. Scored a goal. Awesome. Scored actually 2 goals in the series. Good for him. But I look at those type of players on this team. It's still at some point their leadership core is going to have to say enough's enough. We have to be a better, consistent defensive team and take the freaking regular season. Don't underestimate the importance of the regular season. I appreciated Chris Knobloch's honesty. Kind of thought, you know what, we could turn it on. And I fell for it. I'll admit it. I was wrong. I fell for it. I thought the Oilers could turn it on in the playoffs. Nope. They didn't. You can't just flip the switch. And they couldn't flip a switch to know how to play defense for more than 1 game in a row. The numbers back it up. Look at this series. They couldn't do it, right? They couldn't do it.
Who would be goaltenders that fit the bill for you in your mind, just picking names out of a hat?
Well, there's going to be different options. What's St. Louis going to do with Binnington, right? That would look at St. Louis down the stretch. Now, I've heard Binnington doesn't want to play in Canada, so it's probably not even an option. I would look to see the Buffalo Sabres. The Buffalo Sabres have, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. They've got Alex Lyon. They've also got a young guy in the minors in Devin Levi. Now, he's obviously the least experienced of the 3. But would they move Alex Lyon? They might, right? They might because they say, God, we got to make room for our young guy in our organization. We don't want to trade the young guy in the organization and then be waiting the next 3 years wishing we had the young guy in the organization. So, they might, I don't know, Pekka Luukkonen, he started the playoffs for them. Now Lions come in. He's done all right. And they've kind of gone back and forth all year long between those 2. So they've got 3 goalies, right? They also have Colton Ellis, but I'm not sold that he's the answer for me personally. So they could get rid of Devin Levi and still feel like we got a third goalie, because you need a third goalie in your organization when one gets injured. Make no mistake. So Buffalo would be a team. I haven't done a deep dive enough yet into it. Look at all the organizations and find out. But keep in mind, like Scott Wedgwood was a backup in a lot of places. Went to Colorado. Just played very well. Right? Now, Mackenzie Blackwood, they gave up their question mark for another question mark. So is there a team that has another question mark out there? Maybe. The problem is Jari's a 5.375 question mark. If you're a 3.75 question mark, it's very different. So that's going to be their biggest challenge. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We'll take a quick break. We'll return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hi, I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. We've been tightening bolts and redefining our industry for 25 years. Yes, a quarter century, and we're just getting started. Check us out at cantork.com. Our tools age better than I do.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Would you like to be a part of history for the month of April? I'm kidding. Or as the kids say, bro, I'm joking. Would you like to help us set a record in April? Chill. Still kidding. At Northgate, we aren't trying to set any records or tell you how many vehicles we sell, and we really don't think you'd care. But what you will care about is this. Every dealer has the same costs. Trust me, GM does not have a favorite kid. You get to decide where you buy. 0% financing, a great selection, and of course, great people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Get ready for a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. The Gene Simmons Band, performing your favorite classic hits. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Tickets on sale now at silenticecenter.com. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrobacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All Star Construction is all about.
When life unexpectedly changes, it can leave us feeling unbalanced, uncertain, and unsure of how to move forward. But you don't have to go through it alone. I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. Our team helps reestablish balance, guiding you through your divorce with compassion, clarity, and support. Fairway has helped more than 6,500 families across Canada find a path towards a peaceful, fair resolution. With 2 offices in Edmonton, we're here to make your journey easier. Discover your options at Fairway Divorce.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Are you overwhelmed by debt and getting nonstop calls from creditors? It can feel like there's no escape. Debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. A single call can turn things around. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Edmonton. I can help you become debt-free with a solution just for you. Let's put an end to those calls from creditors together. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Courses of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Looking for a tasty lunch? Papa John's has you covered. Get a small 2-topping pizza for only $9.99 with code S999 at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.328. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Lots happening. Of course, NHL playoffs. I know orders. You're like, I'm not watching. And you'll probably boycott it for a while, but you might slide back in as it gets later on. Because I will say that Colorado-Minnesota series, that one's pretty intriguing to me. I'm very curious to see it. Minnesota, I've liked how they played, man. Colorado's obviously really good. They're going to give them a run. And it's the battle of the W's. Wedgwood and Wallstead in between the pipes. I know Oilers fans, we try not to say that name on the show. Valid for, and there were lots of you who are calling for the Oilers to draft him. And the Oilers opted to trade down, let Minnesota take him. And then they took Borgo. That one didn't work very well. I get the people, and I think it's a valid point to say, what if they would just taken Wallstead? It's valid. And the thing I like about it is many of the people were calling for it before. Like, hindsight's easy. Like I can't believe the Oilers didn't draft Jackson Lacombe. Like, that's 8 years ago, and no one was even talking about it. Those ones I don't like. This one, many of you said Wallstead leading up to the draft. So when you can say they should have taken him, it's not hindsight. I don't like the hindsight picks. That one is totally valuable. Let's get to Around the NHL now. Brought to you by McDonald's. Thought the hype was over? Think again. After its viral debut back in 2023, the legendary Chicken Big Mac is officially making its comeback in Canada, but only for a limited time. Get yours today at McDonald's. As we go out to Boston, Steve Conroy joins us to discuss the Sabres and the Bruins. The Bruins, of course, stave off elimination. David Pastrnak, a huge overtime winner. Now they're at home for Game 6 tonight. This is reminding me, Steve, of an old Adams division battle many centuries ago. Well, not century, but decades ago. So I'm kind of aging myself. But give me your thoughts through 6 games and kind of Boston. After Swayman got pulled, it's like everybody just said, okay, enough's enough. Let's play better team defense.
Yeah, they said all the right things after, getting blown out. They were embarrassed by the performance, and by the way they came out in Game 5 up in Buffalo, it apparently, those weren't empty words. They were able to break out of the zone a little more easily than they were able to do in that horrific first period on last Sunday in Game 4 here. And they got a great performance from Swayman. Not that Swayman was at all bad in that Game 4, 6-1 Game 4, but he was terrific. And they bounced back, and they got a chance to redeem themselves in front of their fans today. But the Garden has not been kind to this team over the past couple of years.
No, yeah, and why do you think that is?
I honestly don't know. That game on Sunday where they lost 6-1, I think a couple of guys were overhyped a little bit. The first goal against was, a hot pass from Charlie McAvoy that Jonathan Astro had no chance of catching, and it ends up in the back of the net, and then it just snowballed from there. But it's they're not catching anybody on a back-to-back in the playoffs like you do in the regular season. You're getting everybody's best effort, and it just hasn't worked out for them.
So you look at this series, any matchups that you think the Bruins are going to be looking for tonight with home ice?
You know, they'll probably put the new Elias Lindholm, Casey Middlestat line on Tage Thompson line. Whether they'll be able to slow them down again, we'll see. They had started that the game 5 with Elias Lindholm centering Alex Steves and Mikey Eisman, who were both making their series debut. And then, you know, Marco Sturm said as soon as I saw that Elias Lindholm had his legs going, he bumped them up, and they put that line on the Tage Thompson line. They were able to hold them. Buffalo did not score a 5-on-5 goal, and it worked out for them. Whether they can do that 2 games in a row, you know, we'll see. It's Buffalo has more depth, especially up front. You know, they lose Noah Austin, who was a difference maker when he was put into the lineup in Game 3. They lost him in Game 5, and you know, they get to put in Josh Norris for him. So that's not a bad trade-off. So it's going to be tough. The Bruins have managed to score 1 goal in each of the last 3 games in regulation against Alex Lyon, and Lyon has been good, but he hasn't had to be great.
Right.
They need to force the issue a little bit more.
Well, I was going to ask you that. They haven't been. Now, is it because they put such an emphasis on defense lately where they really haven't been able to generate much offensively? Because you're right. It's not like Lyon was stoning them. These guys were 2-on-1, odd man rush chances or breakaways. It was more so just they weren't generating very much consistently outside of Pasternak.
Yeah, there's definitely a focus from the Bruins on slowing Buffalo down to the neutral zone. And when you focus on that, your forecheck is probably going to suffer a little bit. So that's a balance that they've been trying to strike since Game 1. They did a pretty good job in the neutral zone on Game 1, but then it all fell apart, in the last 7 minutes. So that's a balance that they've been trying to strike the whole series.
So you look at this series, you know, and Jeremy Swayman, of course, gets nominated for the Vezina. He's been great for that team this season, no doubt. You mentioned the depth of Buffalo. Now, Arvidsson's not playing tonight. Oslin's out for Buffalo. Any other any line juggling we're going to see tonight from Boston or from Buffalo?
If it doesn't go well for Boston, I'm not sure on the Buffalo end, but if it doesn't go well for Boston early on, I'm sure they'll be juggling. I mean, this is the do or die game again. So, you know, whatever it takes. But they're going with the same lineup. They have their top prospect sitting on the ninth floor in James Hagan. And when they were down 3-1, I thought, throw the kid in, let's see what he can do. But now that they won with this lineup, you kind of have to go back with it, I think.
And Lyon over Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, have you seen a noticeable difference, or has Boston not really challenged him enough to know?
I think there's a difference. Lyon has a certain buzzer to him. He has an edge to him, and he's a competitive guy. And I think, playing in a city like Boston, I think that brings out the best in him. Whether he can continue to play this well, we'll see. But, I think there's been an absolute edge with Lyon.
Yeah, okay. Lastly, on the Sabres side of things, young team, they're kind of like the Ducks. Now, the Ducks lost Game 5 in Edmonton, not on the road, whereas Buffalo lost at home. And they haven't been in the playoffs forever. They haven't won a playoff series since 2007. Any sense of nervousness or angst, or we might just see them what we saw Anaheim do to Edmonton last night?
It's hard to say. I do think there's a little bit of doubt that's crept in their minds. It'll be interesting the first 5 or 10 minutes here tonight. They have to, whenever a team has a chance to close out and then they don't do it, then they have to go back on the road. There has to be some bit of anxiety. I'm sure their fandom has plenty of anxiety. How much is it, in the room right now? It's tough to say. Obviously they've got a veteran coach in Lindsey Ruff who's been through it all before. He's had ups, he's had downs. In how much he can impart, all that's experience onto his young players, we'll see. But, they've got talent, and, talent often wins out.
Steve, as always, man, we appreciate this, especially on short notice. Enjoy the game tonight, and we'll see if there's a Game 7.
Great. Thanks, Jason. We'll talk to you later.
There you go. That's Steve Conroy joining us from Boston. So the Bruins and the Sabres, the NHL playoffs still ongoing. I know Oilers fans, it feels like it's over. But just remember, it is a little different after you're used to going like 3 of the last 4 years. Well, actually, the last 4 years, the Oilers won the first round. Right? So you haven't been out this early since the Jets swept the Oilers back in 2021. So you're not used to it. I get it. And the organization, this is going to be fascinating. I know we got a lot of texts about, well, hey, Gregor, it's hard to get a goalie. Yeah, I don't discount that. But it's hard isn't a reason to say it can't be done. Just because it's hard, it's hard. You know what? Let everybody else do it. Colorado, look at their 2 goalies. Now, when they acquired their 2 goalies, it didn't lead to instant success. They didn't win a playoff series last year. Right? So it doesn't guarantee instant success. But look, they got both of them. They both played pretty well this year. And Wedgwood, who wasn't the guy they acquired to be their starter, is now their starter in the playoffs, funny enough. Doesn't mean he will be for the whole playoffs. He was in round 1 in 4 games against the pop gun offense of the Kings. I think the Wild will probably test him a little bit more. So we'll see how he does. But you find ways to do it. I get that it's hard. But just because it's hard, especially, you know what? It is. You know what's hard? It's harder at making your goaltending situation, which was a concern, worse. That's essentially what they did. That's what they did. The Jari trade made their goaltending situation worse than what it used to be. Because Stuart Skinner was a $2.6 million player. And yeah, he had a few bad games, but he had a lot of good games too. And he was your main guy that got you to the Stanley Cup final 2 years in a row. Do they even get to the Cup final in 2024? Stuart Skinner just doesn't stand on his head in Game 6 against the Dallas Stars when they got outshot 34-10. Because if you lose that game, now you got to go into Dallas to win Game 7. We'll never know. But that was a massive win by Stu Skinner. Their goalies didn't win him a game this year in the playoffs, not one. Stu Skinner's won games in the first round before. So they made their goaltending situation worse. So now they got to improve it. They made it harder on themselves, but that's their only. No one forced them to make that trade. No one said, Stan Bowman, you got to make that trade. Right? He made the trade. Hasn't worked out. Now, I'm not saying if Stu Skinner was here that suddenly they'd have been in the second round. Can't say that for certain at all. But they wouldn't have traded Kulak. And maybe they would have used Kulak in a different trade. We'll never know. But that trade simply did not work out. I think we can all agree with that.
What do you make of Skinner's play now that he's a Penguin?
Not much different. Had good stretches, had some struggles. That's what Stuart Skinner isn't a top 10 goalie. I don't expect him to be. Right? He's never paid like a top 10 goalie. He's never been paid like a top 20 goalie, to be honest. So all I know is he's half the price and he's a free agent. And if I had Stuart Skinner again at 2.6 next year, I'd feel way better than having Jari at 5.375. Just go by the cap space. It's that simple. Jari doesn't guarantee to give me better games all the time. So I free up $2.6 million to maybe put that towards a better defenseman so I can help that situation. That's what Skinner did for you. Skinner gave you cap flexibility way more than Jari does.
Do you think there's a world where he would return?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No. Stu Skinner? Oh, no.
Never.
No. Well, I would say never say never, right? If Edmonton was the only team calling, then yes, right? There's lots of... Stu Skinner, I think, is infinitely more mentally tough than a lot of people ever gave him credit for. He had to deal with a lot of crap. A lot of crap that didn't even get noticed public. Like, there are some absolute douchebags in how they treated, his family and stuff. They said, like, you're a pathetic loser when you do stuff like that. I'm sorry. You can get mad at people and be like, hey, I want Stu Skinner to play better. That's totally within your right. But when you go personal attacks on families, like, reevaluate your life. I'm sorry. It's ridiculous. But so I would never say never, but, I don't think the organization or him, it's their first choice for either one. Right? So, rarely when you break up and you get back together is it better. There's the odd chance. Buddy Jim. but it's rare.
Might be good for a while.
Sure. It's very true. We'll return. We got lots more texts to get to. Also, something that we haven't seen in a month is coming back next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy, because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Summer in Alberta means baseball debates.
Okay, best ballpark snack. Gotta be popcorn.
Nah, it's nachos, hands down.
Nah, you're both wrong. It's mini donuts. But when it comes to beef jerky, there's no argument.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
The only snack every fan agrees on. Grab some for your next ballpark outing.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Nothing beats getting a deal at McDonald's. Why? Because you get a deal now.
Deal later.
Redeem an offer from the latest mailer or on the McDonald's app and dig into instant savings. Plus, you earn points towards
free McDonald's.
Now that's what I call
a double whammy of deals.
Why does that keep happening? Deals sent right to your door. Check your mailbox for the latest McDonald's mailer loaded with delicious value. For a limited time at participating restaurants in Western Canada.
Everybody loves a beautiful day in Edmonton. Hey, it's Jamie, and Green Drop Lawn Care is giving you one more reason to love the nice weather. Next Nice Day service. People always ask,
how soon can Green Drop get here?
Well, when you sign up with Next Nice Day service, we'll be there by tomorrow. Assuming Mother Nature cooperates, we'll be fertilizing and treating your weeds by the very next day. We'll even include drought fighter at no additional cost. Just another reason we have been Canada's lawn expert since 1979. Easy online signups only at greendrop.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio, from weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
347. Welcome back. Jason Gregor. Connor Halley. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show, man. We got a lot going on. Always, you know what? It's been a while because the last few years, we've talked a lot about playoffs, which is great. Super fun. But I can tell you that this year, we'll still talk playoffs. The Oilers just won't be in it. But we'll be talking about the Oilers. And it's a team you're passionate about. And there are lots of opportunities. And I love this text. Hey, Greg, you're bang on about, well, it might be hard. It's not impossible to find a goalie. You just ask the Flyers. From Steve. Bingo, Steve. Dan Vladar. Thank you very much. Right, Dan Vladar. There was a lot of people that were like, what? What are they doing signing Dan Vladar? The Philadelphia Flyers. 2-year deal at 3.35. So they didn't even commit long-term. Didn't have to pay him guy huge money. And look what happened. Pretty solid signing, don't you think? Right? This was after he had had a multi-year deal at $2.2 million. So just, continued to improve and came up huge. Look at that shutout to clinch series win over Pittsburgh. Right? You don't need superstar goalies. You just need solid goaltending. And a guy that can win you a game every now and then, which funny enough, Stuart Skinner did a few times. Sorry, but he did. You don't want to hear it right now. I understand it, but he did. Anyway, now, sometimes out of sight, out of mind is good, but he'll be back in the forefront as we are into May, as we get to the Racing Report, brought to you by Can Torque, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantorque.com. Colin Livingston joins us once again, and finally, F1 is back, and I understand why, of course, due to the war, they had to cancel 2 races, so nothing in April. Usually they have a big, kind of mid-season break, Colin. This one's different, though. What are you expecting now in May when they return to the track?
Pretty much more of the same. I mean, candidly, aside from, little stories here and there, I almost forgot about F1. Like, IndyCar is kind of notorious for these 3-week breaks, and, they managed to overcome it because they came off a 3-week break. They're getting ready for the Indy 500. So people are still kind of excited. It's May and lots of stuff happens, but, Formula One, I don't think there was a lot they could do. Obviously, they lose the race in Bahrain, they lose the race in Saudi Arabia. There was talk that they could have maybe filtered somewhere else, but obviously that didn't happen. You want to say that the crews might be a little rusty or the drivers or what have you, but I watched a bit of the morning practice and it was like they never left. And of course it's always the same for everybody. So.
Yeah. Okay. So you're still expecting Mercedes to kind of dominate with all this time off. Nobody's going to be able to close the gap.
Boy, they struggled today. It was really strong for Ferrari in the morning. Leclerc set the fast time. Lewis was P4, but he had kind of a fast lap towards the end. And I don't want to say he got impeded, but he was definitely slowed down a bit. But then out of nowhere, Norris for the McLaren won the sprint pole just a little bit ago. Again, I didn't really I had the intention of watching everything, but she's been a pretty busy day here at Can Torque and Full Send Karting. So I had lots of people drop by and, very rudely because I was trying to watch the TV, but McLaren did well. They've got 2 cars in the top 3, Mercedes with Antonelli, qualified P2. Russell seemed to struggle. Hamilton seemed to struggle. So it almost feels like we might have a race this weekend.
Now, Gary Anderson, who used to be a former technical director, he's a journalist. He wrote, quote, "We pay drivers millions per year to be the best in the world, then take responsibility away from them and hand it to systems and software engineers in the back of the garage. It's ridiculous. I don't understand why F1 as a whole has refused to bite the bullet and admit it was a big mistake." And is that simply what it is, Colin? Do you think that the powers that be in F1 just don't want to look like, okay, we tried something and it's wrong, so let's double down on it and compound the issue rather than say, you know what, we're wrong. Let's go back to just so we can race again.
100%. I mean, they're not, we even talked about it last week that Dominic Halley, the head of Formula One, is saying, we don't have any problems. Like, what are you talking about? It's still early days and there's still opportunity. I mean, they made minor tweaks and I didn't even bother including them in the show notes because I don't think it's anything people are really going to care about, that this many megajoules of blah blah are going to be available instead of this many. Like it's all a bunch of nonsense that they're trying to mitigate some of the differential in speed. Realistically, I mean, I see it pretty harshly. I mean, while I'm not an acclaimed professional race car driver, I've spent an awful long time in the sport. I've experienced it from a number of perspectives. And this just isn't racing. Like the fact that cars are making multiple passes on paper sounds great, but they're not real passes. They're one guy's harvesting energy, the other guy's deploying energy. And like the quote from last week, how am I going to pass this guy? Use less throttle. Like everything's counterintuitive and none of it makes sense. And the fact that the powers that be don't see this as a problem is a bigger problem than the problem. Like it's fine to say, the system didn't really unwind the way we wanted it to, but we're going to work on it. We're going to make it better. They're saying, hell no, this is great. And what's going to really start tipping the scales is if people stop watching and if the viewership starts going down, then that's what's really going to get their attention.
Okay, yeah. And that probably will take a while. I would think for sure. Lance Stroll had some interesting comments when he said that during the break, he was testing some F3 cars. And I know everybody's like, oh, is he going to F3? But he said they were 1,000% more fun than the current F1 cars. I will say this, the drivers have been very vocal in their disdain and frustration with the F1. So if you're not going to listen to the guys who drive it, who the hell are you going to listen to?
Yeah, it's telling when we're using Lance Stroll as examples of, where the sport's at. I mean, Lance is not known for, always saying the right thing, always saying the political thing. Sometimes he lets his mouth go a lot faster than his brain. But the fact is that the cars just aren't great. And the two guys that aren't really speaking about how bad things are, guys like guys like George Russell and Kimi Antonelli leading Mercedes, because they've got the package and this is going to be the year for them as long as nobody really catches up. So it's, again, I don't know that there's an analogy to another sport, but one of the big reasons I stopped watching NASCAR was because of races like Talladega and like Daytona, where you've got 30 cars running within like a second and a half of each other. And every year it turns into a demolition derby. Like running around a racetrack at wide open throttle in NASCAR, that to me is not racing. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't skill and I'm not saying that there isn't, technique, but you keep your foot pinned all the way around, and the only time you release the throttle is so that you don't catch the guy in front of you. That to me isn't racing. Racing is three-dimensional. You need to be able to accelerate, you need to be able to brake, and you need to be able to make corners. Even what we do in NASCAR Canada on an oval, you're having to deal with throttle modulation. You're going to have to pick your brake point, and you're going to have to control the car in both directions, even as you're going, around in circles. So, this is the same kind of thing that, on the weekend, I saw some of the highlights, 26 cars taken out of contention in one crash at Talladega. Like, bravo. Well done, NASCAR. It's going to happen every year. That this is the end result, and you still let these guys go out and you don't do anything to change it because obviously that's what they condone. And right now, Formula One is going down the same road of trying to create entertainment instead of focusing on making racing better and hoping that people find racing exciting. This is they're on kind of parallel courses right now.
Okay. IndyCar they had their rookie orientation program on open testing earlier this week. Walk me through what that means exactly.
So they did a 2-day open test. So anybody who is, going to contest the Indy 500 as well as their full season teams, they had an open 2-day open test. And what it allowed, the veterans to do is kind of shake off some rust. And then they broke parts of the days into what they call the rookie orientation program and then the refresher program. So guys like Takuma Sato, Helio Castroneves, guys who have won the event but haven't been in a car and haven't run the 500 in over a year, they go through that. And what they basically have to demonstrate, the rookies have to go through 3 phases. So they do a number of laps where their average speed has to be between 205 and 210 miles an hour. So for relative comparison, qualifying speed, the last couple of years, like the race or the qualifying speeds around 235 to 238 miles an hour. Then they go back out. They have to do a number of more laps between 210 and 215 miles an hour. And then their final phase is to run 15 laps with an average speed in excess of 215 miles an hour. It's not just about putting laps down, though, because they've got a number of experienced drivers that watch to make sure you're maintaining car control, you're taking proper racing lines, you're still aware of the other cars on the track. So if you're passing someone, you're still allowed to make your lap. You're still allowed to run at full speed, even though somebody might be, on an out lap or coming into the pits. They just want to make sure that you're not going to be a hazard out there. So everybody managed to pass. So there for sure be 33 cars. I don't think there's a 34th, so we won't get the bump day, but it was awesome to have on. I don't care what they're doing. I would watch lawnmowers go around, cutting the grass at Indianapolis. It's just such an awesome place. So getting to see, 8-hour practice sessions 2 days in a row was fantastic for me.
Okay. Like that. And, we're into May now. Karting season get going this week?
Yeah, we were supposed to have our first test 2 days ago on Wednesday, but obviously Mother Nature had other ideas with the snow and cold, so the track just wasn't ready. But we're running our rookie program this weekend, so they had their classroom time yesterday. They'll be on track. And then next Wednesday will be our first test and tune. So I expect to kind of limp in there on Thursday with a couple of bumps and bruises if I can get my kart finished.
Well, get your kart finished. Figure it out. What are you waiting for? You don't have any playoff hockey to watch.
That's a fact. I mean, I've had it on, and it's just been busy with Parker gone at the cheerleading thing. When the big man has to do regular work. I've been in here between 6:30 in the morning and here till after 8:00 at night. And while I've been able to tinker a bit, there's still lots left to do. So this weekend I should get it done.
Awesome. Okay, man. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the sun. It's nice out. Love it.
Yeah, looking forward to it, but we'll see you in person next week.
You betcha. That's Colin Livingston in the Racing Report, brought to you by Can Torque. 4:00, we'll get back. We got lots more on the orders. We're going to have some more open line time, 833-401-1440. A lot of text to get to, man. I still haven't been able to get through them all, so we'll try to. I love it. Hey, everybody's fired up. It's nice. It's going to be, honestly, I think it'll be a busy off season here on Sports 1440 for the orders, because there's lots to go to. Then you throw in the Jays, you throw in the Elks, the CFL's coming right around the corner. Training camp, man. We're into May. I love it. We'll get into all that. But first, let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. They're here to focus so you can focus on your vehicle, and they'll focus on your vehicle with your digital vehicle report. They don't just tell you what your car needs. They'll show you so you know you're getting the right stuff done. FountainTire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
3 games tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Montreal Canadiens can wrap up their series against the Lightning at 5:00 at 5:30. The Sabres can do the same in Boston. And at 8:00, it's Mammoth Golden Knights Vegas leading 3-2. Off the ice, Steele and Holloway agreeing to terms with the St. Louis Blues, a 5-year contract extension with a $7.75 million AAV. At 24 years old, he appeared in 59 games last season, scoring 22 goals. In the association tonight, the Toronto Raptors looking to stay alive. They host the Cavs just after 5:30, trailing 3-2. The All-Star Magic and wrap up their series against the Pistons at 5. And the Lakers will try to do the same in Houston at 7:30. Major League Baseball, Blue Jays in action, taking on the Twins once again. We'll have that for you here at 6 o'clock on Sports 1440 AM feed only. Elsewhere, Yankees taking on the Orioles, Brewers in Washington, the Dodgers up against the Cards, Padres host the White Sox, Mariners up against the Royals, while the Guardians in Sacramento. Earlier today was the Cubs over the Diamondbacks by a score of 6-5. And the Cadillac Championship, Cameron Young leading the way after 2 rounds at 13 under. Canadian Nick Taylor right there at -8. Taylor Pentra 6 under par. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear the stats of the day, ask 5 questions, and be joined by Craig Button from the NHL on TSN. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community.
We'll be in
Alberta's
person next week.
best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Bashaw Concrete products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
If you're passionate about golf, you probably already know, and you've been waiting. The Quarry is now open, and all 27 holes are in great shape. Book now. Get geared up at the Pro Shop and start swinging at the Quarry. Don't forget about the Granite Grill Restaurant, an unforgettable top-tier venue to host all your events. For rental details or to book your tee time, contact the Quarry today. Edmonton's most popular golf and event venue. Call 477-THE-Q and visit thequarryedmonton.com. Ready to upgrade your ride this spring? Come on down to the Golf Cart People. They're a family-owned and operated business that's been serving the community since '97. Whether you're looking for a brand new or quality pre-owned cart, a rental for a special event, they do that too. The Golf Cart People have a huge selection of parts and accessories, and their expert service team is here to keep you rolling. The Golf Cart People, your one-stop shop for everything golf cart. Visit golfcartpeople.com.
Course to this hour brought to you by UL. Helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ul.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ul.ca, your partners in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's after 4 o'clock. We roll through Positive Friday. I know, hey, this is the great part about Positive Friday. Because it's still Positive Friday. It's nothing to do with sports, just positive. So, hey, there you go. I know other fans, hey, positive, you're going to have more time to golf. Positive, it's finally warm. It was 23 degrees yesterday. How many of you are just rolling around tarps off, muscle shirts, thinking, hey, finally, this felt better, right? You go for a longer walk, right? Your sex life's better, guaranteed. Everybody's in a better mood. It's a little warmer like that. It's nice out. It's just like, oh, spring's here. Let's go, rock and roll. Everybody knows what happens in the springtime. So let's fire it right up. Jason Gregor alongside Wanye Gretz. See, they're not in agreement, right?
I don't know about the old sex life improving with no Oilers to celebrate. Celebrating wins left and right in Edmonton in a cup run. You got nights where...
that's true too, yeah. Oh, yeah, people fell in love. But you know what? Now, you know what? You can bond over the what do you think's going to happen? What would you do?
I have a friend who was going to, I can't remember what bar it was downtown, all the time in the 06 Cup run, met his wife. She was his girlfriend at the time. They got to the end of the Cup run and said, this is such a phenomenal time in our life. Should we just part ways and just say it was a Cup run relationship, or should we try to make it work? They have 2 kids. Does it work? I don't know. But they stayed together. And there's going to be some Cup run babies from the last 2 years. Their parents, there won't be any this year. No Cup run babies this year, Gregor.
Well, they're who knows though? Maybe they'll be like, now I don't know, if maybe in your relationship with your husband or wife is like a diehard, and now you need to console them. So maybe they'll be like consoling babies. You never know.
Interesting. Right. So you're saying there is no bad outcomes in life?
No, I would not. Well, there is always some bad outcomes, yes. But there's always ways to look at it. You can look at it like there's no possible chance of this improving. Or you can say, hey, now maybe the organization, hey, they got to get rolling. Like what if the Oilers would have went to round 3? Would the changes that they need to make be viewed differently? Possibly. Now they can look and say, hey, guess what? Edmonton won the same amount of playoff series as all the teams who missed the playoffs. Right? So it's, we made the playoffs, but we didn't do anything in the playoffs, right? Like you only won 2 more playoff games than a lot of those teams. So, hey, we talked about it. LA's got to make significant changes. I think so do the Edmonton Oilers. Like the Oilers are lucky because they'll make changes, but they'll still come back next year. And, you got McDavid. No, you got Draisaitl. Look, we got Bouchard. Like they still got some pretty good pieces, right?
You never make big changes when things are going well. You never make big changes when things are going okay, right? You need to have, like you said, that bad year where you can all look each other in the eye and be like, this wasn't it.
No, it's very true. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Coming up a little bit later on in the show, Craig Button is going to join us. But first, we're going to get to some stats of the day brought to you by All-Star Construction. Specializing in underground utilities, power, gas, telecommunications, street lighting. Remember, it's construction season. Folks at All-Star Construction, they want to get home, same as you. So slow down, abide by the rules, don't crash over the cones, just go slowly and slowly through construction zones from All-Star Construction. And some stats of the day. Well, there's good ones and there's some bad ones for sure. So I do want to look at the orders. So if we're looking at it from take a few steps back. So the Edmonton Oilers right now today have $87.5 million in cap committed to 9 forwards, 5 defense, and a goalie. Now, if I add in Doc, because he's an RFA, and I don't think he's going to be a big increase, and Isaac Howard, who a lot of people think's probably on the NHL roster next year, that would put him at 11 forwards and at $89 million $89.33 million. So, gives him $15 million. Now, my top 3 priorities on the orders would be Dickinson, Murphy, Kapanen. You pick which order you're going to rank them in. 1, 2, 3. I think those are the 3 guys. After that, Jack Roslovic. I like Jack Roslovic, but I don't know if he's a must. Now, if I get him at $1.5 million again later in the summer, damn right I'd sign him. Adam Henrique, you've got some ask like now is Adam Henrique. I will say this: they missed him on the penalty kill. Certain guys because he wins faceoffs, right? Jones, Lazar. Edmonton needs, I believe, a right shot fourth line center. They've been going with lefties for a while. You need a right shot guy. I don't want to always have to pull out Leon Draisaitl for every crucial defensive zone faceoff. I don't want to do it. I want to get a right shot guy. Dickinson, I really like. He's not the best faceoff guy. You can work on it for sure, but that would be the 3. On the Stastny, I know that I've seen a lot of people, you got to sign Stastny. I'm like, well, I get it if Stan Bowman's here. It's a guy you trade for, so you probably qualify him fine. But my question to people is, what do you want in a third pair defender? I think it's very simple. You can have a third pair guy who's great offensively, helps on your power play, maybe a little bit smaller. Okay, no problem. Can have that. Well, that's not him. Then the other one is bigger body, physical, kills penalties, block shots. Well, that's not him either. So what does he fill in as a third pair DM? If he's your number 7, okay, he's your number 7. But even then, I might want my number 7 to have what is the one thing that this guy, he's here because he does blank. What does he do? Right? Like when they had Vinny Desharnais, right? When he was a number 7, big guy, right? When he emerged on their team in their top 6, what was he? He was a really good penalty killer, and 5-on-5, he blocked shots. That's what he did, right? Play tough for you. But I don't care that he wasn't a great puck mover. Like, stop with it. Everybody needs to be a puck mover. Like, oh my God, watch the games. Not everybody needs to be a great puck mover. Some guys can just glass it out. I don't care because they're defending. And the last time I checked, the Oilers' biggest concern is defending. Okay? So I'm not sold on Stastny. I'm really not. Right? The forwards they have signed, by the way, McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Savoy, Nugent Hopkins, Podkolzin, Szymanski, and Mark Frederick. Now, Trent Frederick, I don't see how you could, if Knobloch's back, I don't see how Frederick's back. But it doesn't play him. He doesn't play him, right? It doesn't kill penalties. So what are you going to do? If he's not a regular in your third line, right? And the other thing, if Knobloch comes back, there has to be a conversation, I believe, on the Oilers that my top guys aren't playing that many minutes next year in the regular season. 2 things have to happen. You have to respect the regular season as an organization and stop thinking you just meander through it and then get to the playoffs. Okay? The years they were in the Cup, they were at least 100-point teams. Right? They weren't 90-point teams, grossly inconsistent. This was the year you should have won the division in a cakewalk this year. Wasn't even close. Should have easily done it. They couldn't do it. So respect it, because the one thing the regular season does, it can help you teach consistency. Right? I talked earlier about their penalty kill and their penalty kill in 2024. Overall, the penalty kill number wasn't great. But if you look at it under Knobloch, because he came in for the final 69 games, they were 7th best, 81%. It's the best their penalty kills been in a long time in a regular season. That was 69 games. It wasn't the full season, but under that coach, it was good. Then it continued in the playoffs. And it's fallen off a cliff ever since, both in the playoffs and, well, more so in the playoffs. 67% last year, and they made it to the Cup final, but 50% this year, they couldn't overcome it. They just couldn't do it. It's kind of like the Kings. When the Kings lost to the Oilers, remember when the Oilers' power play was 55%? Now you know how it feels. You can be as good as you want 5-on-5. If you're that bad on special teams, it's hard to win. Right? It's hard. Not impossible, just hard.
Dickinson making 2.125. What would you sign him for?
Well, no. That's only what he's making in Edmonton, because they retained half. His contract was 4.2. Right. The last few years. Again, this guy has made over $40 million in his career. Right. No, sorry, that's Connor Murphy. Connor Murphy, I know, has made over 40. Dickinson, I talked to Connor Murphy about it, and Connor Murphy said, and he just sugarcoated, he goes, hey, I want a fair deal, but I'm not chasing the money at this stage of my career. I want to chase playoff opportunities. So I think he would fit in. Dickinson, you know what? He's Dickinson on the free agent market is going to get at least $3.5 million. He's a bona fide third line center who's 30 years of age.
He's made $23 million career.
Yeah. So still pretty good, but maybe Dickinson's like, you know what? But he was in Chicago for a long time, and like he was desperate to get back to the playoffs. So if a team's going to offer you 3.5, but someone else offers you 4, but the odds of going on a deep playoff run are way lower, I'm sure he would choose a 3.5. I can't say that for certain, but I think that's like it's enough money that you're still making $10.5 million over 3 years. It's pretty good, right? Plus, if you go in the playoffs, you do get playoff bonuses a little bit, and you can make a little bit more money there. But it's more so about the joy and excitement of being there in the playoffs, right? He wanted to be like he worked his tail off to get back into the playoffs, even though we know he wasn't 100%, right? Playing with the fracture in his foot, like it was obvious. So yeah, I think Dickinson, Murphy, and Kapanen, those are the 3 guys. Now Kapanen, luckily for Edmonton, he had a great playoffs, but his regular season, he didn't play that much. So he's not going to be able to command a huge amount of money. So you should be able to get him at a decent price, right? Like he's probably not getting more in Pod Colson. I don't see how. So, you know, what's he get? 2, 2.5? I don't know. Like, I think between the 3 of them, you could get them all for $10 million.
You don't see anybody that they have to necessarily overpay to keep.
No, not overpay, and definitely not on term either, right? Like the Frederick term. Like if Frederick is a 3-year deal, you'd be like, okay, we have 2 years left at 3.85. First of all, he'd be way more tradable at 2 years, right? So whoever they sign, Kapanen, any of these guys, it cannot be the big term. I'd rather give the guy an extra $500,000 on a short-term deal than give him less on a long-term deal. And that long-term deal looks awful. So those would be the guys. So you look at those numbers, they've got more than enough cap space. Defense, they got $32 million with Bouchard, Nurse, Wallman, Ekholm, and Emerson. And I've said this. This has to be the summer. And here's, and I know this for a fact. This isn't just rumor. This is a fact. So people have talked about moving on to Darnell Nurse. I think people in the organization are open to it. The leadership group wasn't overly open to it. So when I hear people say, well, you got to listen to your captain to a point, because everybody has a bias, right? Great guy. They love him. I get all that. But the bang for your buck is not there. It's not there. And now he has a no movement clause. So he controls it. And so that's why it's a nice idea. I'm just not sure how realistic it is, to be honest. So, if you could move him, sure. But the problem is, as I've said, I don't know how realistic that is. Now, after next season, then he has a limited no movement clause where you could trade him without his stay. So maybe that becomes part of the conversation. Hey, we're looking to do this. And I've always said, a player having a no movement clause, it just allows him to have a say. It doesn't guarantee he can't get traded. And if I look at their back end, I would be considering that type of move. Goaltending, they've got $8 million basically tied up in goaltending because, and I know it's 7.975, so just under, because you've got Jari at 5.3, but you have Jack Campbell at 2.6. This is the highest coming up. This will be the highest year of his buyout. Then the next 3 years are 1.5, 1.5, and 1.5. Still not ideal, but so you go in already right now, you've got $8 million tied up in goaltending. And they don't have a starter. That's their challenge. So I don't know if you can move Jari 2 years left. Anything's possible. Now, maybe I'll say this, because we got this text come in and said, hey, Gregor, Jari might play better if the defensive system was better. Valid point. And I don't overlook that. That's why I wrote, to me, what are the main priorities of the orders? Solidify goaltending. And right below it, play a better team defense. You got to commit to it, everybody. And then your penalty kill's got to be better, right? Those are the top 3 areas of improvement. Nothing offensively. No one should even mention anything offensively for the orders, because offensively is never a problem. So it's not a problem. And I look at the orders and I look at all their numbers in the salary cap. They've got flexibility if they need it, but they can't have a Trent Frederick contract. You can't have a Jack Campbell contract. You can't do it now. Right? You can't. This Stan Bowman, it's got to be the summer of sane decisions. Sane. They can be hard. They can be difficult. You might have to move off of someone. But they can't just keep compounding bad contracts and think like at some point, even the owner has never shown an unwillingness to spend money. Now, hey, Oilers fans might tell you, yeah, it's because he's charging me a boatload, and that's fair. But he's never shied away from spending money. So, but you can't just continue to waste it on bad deals. Right? Like Podkolzin, great value contract. Kapanen, really good. So you have some, but you need more. Obviously, Connor McDavid at 12.5, pretty good deal.
Jake Wallman going from 3.4 this year to 7 next year for 7 more years. Do you like that contract, knowing what you know?
I look at them. They felt like Wallman and Ekholm were going to be two ships passing in the night. Ekholm goes from being a $6 million defenseman. Wallman's a 7. I get the caps up way more from when Ekholm signed that deal. I get it. And Ekholm is going to now become our 3rd pair defenseman. Wallman's going to be our top 4 pair defenseman, right? I think was their strategy. Now, Wallman gets hurt. Just, if you look at it every year, he's missing 15 games, give or take. So, it's not ideal. Like, could you have waited to sign Jake Wallman to a 7-year deal? In hindsight, probably. I don't love hindsight. Like, at the time of the contract, I was like, I don't love it, but I see the succession plan here. That's kind of what I thought. That's what they were looking at, is a succession plan in place. And so now it's up to Wallman. He's got to play well, right? 7 years, his age, there'll be some risk later on. But the truth of the matter is, everything for the Oilers is about the next 2 years. That's their main focus. Now, don't sign bad contracts that kill you, ideally, right? But they've got most of their core pieces locked up, except a goaltender, which is a pretty core piece. So we'll see. But yeah, I don't love the contract. I don't hate it if Wallman stays healthy. I like Wallman in the playoffs, right? And I do think Wallman, his value is going to be on, I know he was hurt last year, so that impacted it, but his condition wasn't where it needed to be at the start of the season. No excuses. Next year, that guy should be you're getting paid $7 million now. You got to come in. Being a leader is showing up in elite condition when you make the big bucks. That's part of being a leader. The one thing, hey, no one ever questioned Nurse on that, right? Is conditioning, work ethic, never a problem. It's more the decision-making process, right? Positioning, right? When you got a guy in front, why are you cross-checking rather than tying up his stick? Like little things like that. And then the other thing I look at, hey, Gregor, what about the defense coach? Where did he come out on that? Well, I'd be surprised if Paul Coffey's back next year, because I think he might be in somewhere else in the organization. Never know. I could be wrong. But it is fair to question that the system that Stewart's been putting on the penalty kill simply is not good enough. Like 2 years in a row, your penalty kills 67% in the playoffs, 50% in the playoffs. That's not good enough. So maybe it's personnel, but it's also got to be a little bit of the system. It's got to be a combination. It can't be one or the other. So I think that, hey, everybody's being evaluated right now. Management, coaches, play. They're all being evaluated. Like, there's obviously a few dry settled. McDavid, they're not going anywhere. Bouchard, I get that. But, Matt Savoy, I think they're all pretty comfortable with what he's done coming out of his rookie season. Podkolzin, everybody loves him, right? So there are certain guys where you're like, yeah, no problem. But there's lots of people in the organization that are going to be evaluated. Now, maybe afterwards they look and say, it's good evaluation. We like what this guy brings us in his role. Maybe it's his trainer. Maybe it's his coach. Maybe it's his manager. Maybe it's his scout, whatever it is, right? When you don't reach your goal, you got to evaluate in this business. You can't stay static. You always got to be moving and looking to improve. We'll return to a guy who was in the chair, a GM, next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Your protein drink should work as hard as you do. That's why Booster Juice is hitting the gym harder than ever, brother. Meet your new gym buddies, the Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers. 2 new ripped and refreshing menu options that bench some serious protein. Perfect for pre or post-workout. Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers taste like motivation. So what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you.
At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Everything is going to be okay. If you're feeling the weight of too much debt, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or a consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal will eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we've got your back.
The tents are up and the deals are out. The Brick's biggest sale of the season is on now. Take up to 60% off clearance items in the tents. Sofas start at $399 and save up to 50% on select mattresses. Plus, only until Monday, take until 2030 to pay with 0% interest. Get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. OAC, see in store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweat Box.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit prosolutionsinc.ca to schedule your service today.
I've got some good news if you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck. The 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a sport performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. There's nothing like the thrill of live music on the OTR stage. Catch Rockford Stomp and Bonfire Moon this weekend at Jasper Ave 118th. See more at ontherocks.yeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. 3 games tonight, which could lead us to 3 game sevens on the weekend. PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. Also, a little NBA playoff action. You can get it all. Casino, live dealer lottery, instants, and more at PlayAlberta.ca. As we go in the room now, brought to you by Action Electrical, where you can take action on your savings. Look at that big yellow orange thing in the sky. Whoo, brings a lot of heat. Well, can bring a lot of savings too if you want to get solar on your home or your business. 30% tax credit rebate, and Action Electrical can walk you through all the ways to save. ActionElectrical.net, as we are joined by former NHL GM, scout, ace analyst now for TSN, Craig Button joins us. Butts, how you doing, my man?
I am good, Jason. How are you today?
Oh, you know what? I'm all right. It's going to be an interesting offseason. It's May 1st, and the Edmonton Oilers, there's going to have to be some changes, I think, in lots of areas of their organization. I don't think this is just on ice. I think there's going to be some possible changes. You know what? You probably take some time to reevaluate it here. The owner has a say, president has a say, the GM has a say, and then they kind of go from there. How significant of change do you expect to see in the Oilers organization this offseason?
Well, I mean, we know what the goal is for the Edmonton Oilers, and it's well stated, it's well established. So if you want to, and I'm Connor McDavid said we were an average team, and so if you're an average team and you're not capable of meeting your objectives at this point in time, you got significant work to do. Significant work. Like it's not about like, okay, well we could use a winger or we could use a defenseman here. I mean, the team isn't good enough, and you're gonna have to explore avenues to make the team deeper, stronger, better balanced, and I don't think there's any way around it.
Well, goaltending, and to me, defense and some penalty killers or a new penalty kill system. Well, it's probably a combination of all of it, but that to me has to be the main focus. Like offensive guys, Craig, I would put it like not even in my top 5 of things I'd be focused on as an organization. And
no, they don't need offense.
No, they need now goaltending. Like I look at Philadelphia because I don't buy them. Well, it's hard to find. Like I get that it's hard to find consistent goaltending. Yeah, it's difficult. Teams do it, but sometimes you got to take swings. Colorado. Now, it didn't lead to instant success. They traded both their goalies last year, lost in the first round. Then they had the best regular season this year, and you just swept a team in the first round, and they look really good going up against Minnesota. Look at Dan Vladar. 2-year deal, 3.35. I don't know if Dan Vladar is going to put up exact same numbers next year because it's hard to do, but he was really good. So you can find the goalies, and you also have to have a decent system with the goalies. It seems like in Edmonton, it's like, let's just get a goalie and still play loose defensive hockey. Can't work.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, a couple of things that are key ingredients to having success when it matters the most is a really, really good defensive play and really good penalty killing. And the Oilers had neither. So now you're counting on like a great offense, and we know when I use the word great, I don't use it lightly. I think everybody can see that, but that's the imbalance in your team. One of the things that, like, when you talked about changing the way you penalty kill, I think that would be my one criticism of Chris Knobloch. I think he kept trying to utilize a system that worked with different personnel, and it worked really well, but he didn't have the same personnel. I don't know if I've said this to you before, Jason. Stop me if I have. But I remember John Harbaugh, the former coach of the Baltimore Ravens, talking about, we had a different offense when we had Joe Flacco than when we had Lamar Jackson. And the Lamar Jackson offense wouldn't have worked with Joe Flacco at quarterback, and the Joe Flacco offense wouldn't have worked with Lamar Jackson at quarterback. So you have to make those adjustments. So that would be my criticism of trying to change how you do things. And I get it. You have success. You go, well, this is what we're going to do. How many times do you hear a coach, just play the system, just play the system? Well, it's not just about the system. You have the players to play the system you want to play. But we got to get into the heart of it. Okay? I've said it many a times. Since the summer of 2024, I can't think of a positive move that the Oilers made. And people are going to go, what? I can't think of a positive move they made. And people go, what about Podkolzin? Well, Podkolzin was a nice move after you had made a bad move on Holloway. And every move they made was a result of bad moves. So, you had a good team. You had good penalty killers. You had speed. And you had the elements you did. Summer of 2024, this team has steadily gotten worse because of the moves by management.
So with that being said, how do you think the current management team is on thin ice in Edmonton?
I think you better evaluate it. You better evaluate it. I'm not here to fire anybody, but you better be accountable. I mean, it is significant. It is significant how much weaker this team is after the moves of 2024.
Yeah, no, hey, the results don't lie. There's no question about it. The one trade actually I like is the Matt Savoy trade. Ryan McLeod.
Why? Ryan McLeod's a great third line center.
Yeah.
Then it was a bad trade.
I think
you lose Holloway.
Yeah, well, the trade was made before they lost Holloway, though, right?
What? Yeah, but you were losing it. Like whatever. Like everything led to everything. So you have a third line center, and you have a really good third line center, homegrown third line center, and you trade them for a small offensive winger, and that's going to help you win? I don't think so, Jason.
Yeah. Well, Savoy, it wasn't going to help you win short term, but I think it's
not going to help you long term. You don't win with little guys.
Yeah. Well, I think you can have one, but I like Savoy, but and I like Ryan.
I like Savoy too,
yeah.
But not at the expense of Ryan McLeod.
Okay. What about so if you're how realistic do you think it could be? And now I know he'd have to agree to it. But don't the Oilers is this the summer to have to look to strongly consider moving Darnell Nurse?
Well, I mean, he fully controls the process.
Oh, I agree.
He fully controls it.
But
so it's not up to the Oilers.
Well, you know, Craig, if you want to make he can control where he goes, but ultimately, if teams really want to trade a guy, there's lots of guys with no movement clauses who've gotten traded.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying he's in full control, though. Mitch Marner didn't go anywhere. He was in full control. They tried to trade him. He said no. So Darnell, I mean, again, Darnell seems to be a lightning rod for things that don't work out for the Oilers. And I'm not saying you don't explore avenues to improve your team. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying you're always looking to explore avenues to improve your team. And if it means that you can improve your team by trading Darnell Nurse, then you got to explore it. But you also have to work with the player and his representative to affect it. And that's all I'm saying. So, but I don't think, I think to suggest that Darnell Nurse is the root cause of the problems, I'm not buying.
No, I'm not saying he's the root cause of the problem. I never blame anything on one player. I know you don't. I know you don't. Yeah.
I wasn't suggesting that you were saying that. I'm just saying that, again, I'm a huge believer in if you can improve the team, then any player can be available. But with the no move clause, it just becomes trickier. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I know. I agree wholeheartely with that one.
So if you want to move money out, in the contract that Darnell has, and you think you're going to be better off because of other options, that's good. But I'm going to go back to it. Management has to be evaluated hard.
Oh yeah. Oh, I agree with that. What about
again? Like that's all I'm saying. Like so again, like the team has been pretty much downgraded since the summer of 2024.
Yeah. What about coaching? Where do you come out on that?
Well, I mean, I think Chris Knobloch's a good coach. I do. I think you have to sit down and understand, okay, what can happen with respect to different systems, deploying different systems depending on what your personnel is, and carrying on in that manner with respect to evaluating the coach. But I mean, 2 years from the time he came into Edmonton, he's been a darn good coach, and it hasn't been a year where there hasn't been, I guess, what I would say, a little bit of fire under his seat. And we heard it from players. Paul Coffey came back, and he didn't improve the defensive play either. But you always have those conversations with the coach. You're always looking, okay, what can you do better? What type of things do we have to change? And then you evaluate from there. But I still think Chris Knobloch's a good coach. And let's just say you want to make a change. Let's just say you do. I think that a lot of times organizations are thinking about making a change, and you go, okay, well, let's consider who comes in. So who are you going to bring in? And I'm not asking for a name, Jason. I'm saying, but like you can change the coach, but who are you going to bring in?
Hey.
And that becomes a real challenge.
Yes. And I I would say this. I think on the coaching staff that when the season started, basically Coffey was gone and Glenn Gulletson was gone. And the replacements didn't have definitely no NHL experience like Coffey, but definitely there was no one that replaced Gulletson's experience. I think the coaching staff lacked a little bit of experience this year. So, if you bring Knobloch back, I'd have no issue with it at all. I'm not one who's a big fire the coach guy, but I think they would have to look at bringing in another experienced coach on the staff.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think that Mark Stewart, who worked really well with Gully and worked really well with Paul. Now they felt that he needed a little more help, so they brought back Paul. And I think that when you start to think about other areas and you talk about experience, I 100% agree with you. And that's something that when you're talking to the coach, Chris has to be ready to say, "Hey, I need some help."
Yeah, 100%. What about the Ducks, though? Let's give some. It's not just about the Oilers, what they didn't do. It's about what the Ducks did do. And they, for long stretches of this series, well, especially on their power play, like the Oilers penalty kill, Craig, it's beyond bat, 50% for God's sakes. Now we've actually seen worse because the Oilers power play was 55 against the Kings a few years ago in the playoffs. So we've seen a team be worse than 50%, unfortunately. But really, that's what cost the Oilers a series. We can look at everything else. 8 goals in 6 games given up on the power play. And it cost you lots of times when you had a lead, then you took a penalty and you couldn't kill it off, an instant momentum change for the Ducks, and they rode their power play to a series win.
Yeah, there's no question that was a contributing factor. It's interesting to me, and I said it at the outset of the playoffs, I really thought the way that the Anaheim Ducks played, and they played loose, and they're not a very good defensive team at all. I really thought that it gave the Oilers a chance to settle in. When I say settle in, like really dial in to playing good defense, being disciplined, doing the things. And when I watched the first period of game 1, I sat there and go, okay, here we go. They look pretty darn good. And that might have been the last time they looked good. And I'm not, and I know that that's a little bit of hyperbole, but they were not able to manage the game. And they allowed, and the other thing about Anaheim, like they made Edmonton look slow. I thought they really made Edmonton look slow. And there was some injuries there too. And we know that some of the players were injured and we're not operating at 100%. But when you let a team really dictate the pace of the game, you're chasing and you're taking penalties. You're back on your heels. You talked about the momentum. And so the power play was just another aspect that just was working uphill, downhill for the Ducks, uphill for the Oilers. And back to penalty killing, it was a bottom, just about bottom 25% of the league this year. It wasn't very good, the penalty killing, or bottom half of the league. That's not going to get you anywhere. And I think back to 2 years ago, that penalty killing was so good, so good. And that's where I sit down and I think about the coaching and different personnel and what worked with that personnel doesn't work with this personnel. And that's where the adjustments have to happen. But the Dutch are young, they're fast, they're brash. They just really felt that they could push the Oilers, and the Oilers didn't have much resistance to them. They really didn't. And it's one of the things you're going to have to evaluate. Like how are you going to be able to put a team on the ice that's quick and fast, and the game's getting faster by the minute. And players that aren't keeping up with the pace of the game, they're not going to help you.
Yeah, very true. Quickly, of the 3 games tonight, which team are you most confident is going to help us get to a Game 7?
The team I'm most confident in is Boston.
Ooh.
The team I'm least confident in is Utah. And the Montreal Tampa Bay series has been a 1-goal game every single series. I think John Cooper, after Game 5, with his understanding of his group, and I thought he just said it's not good enough. We know we have to be better. They know they have to be better. There was no yelling and screaming. And I think that series right now, and with every game being one goal, has come down to Dobish has outplayed Vasilevsky. And when I say outplayed, it's not about somebody standing on their head. Vasilevsky has not played up to his capabilities. And I think that Montreal's taking advantage of that. It could go to Game 7. It could be over tonight. But I think the Bruins are taking it back to Buffalo, and I think that Vegas closes out in Utah tonight.
Awesome stuff, Craig. You have yourself a great weekend. Buddy, I know you're pumped. Pickleball season now. Hey, it's getting warm out, 20 degrees. You're stretching. You probably got some new pickleball shorts, so enjoy the pickleball.
It's all good, Jason. Outdoors is always good. I love the outdoors.
Well, awesome, buddy. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next Friday.
Take care. Bye-bye.
There you go. It's Craig Button, big pickleballer. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We'll return 5 questions and more. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca.
Great news for your weekend project. CFI, that's Custom Floors Inc., is now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 till 2. Get top quality Canadian products from Beaulieu with the convenience you need. For your free estimate, visit CFI at customfloorsinc.ca.
Nothing beats getting a deal at McDonald's. Why? Because you get a deal now.
And a deal later.
Redeem an offer from the latest mailer or in the McDonald's app and dig into instant savings. Plus, you earn points towards
Free McDonald's.
Now that's what I call
a double whammy of deals.
Why does that keep happening? Deals sent right to your door. Check your mailbox for the latest McDonald's mailer loaded with delicious value. For a limited time at participating restaurants in Western Canada.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Hey, it's Jamie from Green Drop Lawn Care. You've known and trusted us as Canada's lawn expert since 1979. In all that time, the only thing we've loved to watch grow and flourish more than your lawn is our community. You've given us so much over the years, and we love to give back. Our community events crew is on the streets, at the festivals, and helping grow great causes and charities across the city. We love knowing your lawn is taken care of, and we'll help take care of the community too. Visit greendrop.com, and we'll see you out there.
Think a quality golf cart is out of your budget? Think again. At the Golf Cart People, we have a fantastic selection of fully inspected, pre-owned carts starting at just $4,500. Choose from gas, electric, or lithium-ion power to fit your lifestyle. And the best part, every used cart comes with a 1-year warranty for total peace of mind. Why wait? Get the cart you've always wanted today. Visit the Golf Cart People. Find out more at golfcartpeople.com.
Tim's Smile Cookie is here. And with every bite, you'll help make a difference close to home. Because 100% is donated to over 600 local charities and community groups. Buy your Tim's Smile Cookies April 27th to May 3rd at participating restaurants in Canada for a limited time.
The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on now. Get a big deal on a 2026 F-150 STX with Black Appearance Package. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Jaffa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Athletic Care. Injuries don't wait, and neither should you. 01 Athletic Care offers one-stop access to doctors, x-rays, and Casting, it's expert musculoskeletal care covered by Alberta Health right in West Edmonton Mall. Move from injury to recovery. Book now at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Let's move along on a Friday afternoon, Thursday. Oh, you know what? Go back in time. It's Thursday, Oilers fans. You didn't lose. I'm kidding. Imagine if you do that. I don't know if you'd want to go back and only change the things that didn't work out. Then you'd have no grit. Would have no adversity.
Do you think the Oilers need a rest?
I don't know. They're injured. I don't really buy the fatigue thing at all, to be honest. Why are the Oilers suddenly Tampa and Florida could do it? Why can't Edmonton do it? So I don't buy, honestly, I don't buy it for a second that they are that tired. No. Injury, the injuries are legit. Oilers are the second fast team in the NHL this year. They had lots of guys hurt in the playoffs. Sure. I don't think it has to do with fatigue. You get Dickinson blocks that shot. He wasn't here last year. It had nothing to do with fatigue for him. Right? So, Leon Draisaitl was fatigued. Leon Draisaitl again, playing on a bum knee, still scores you 10 points in 6 games. I don't buy it. The Edmonton Oilers, have they ever in the last decade had a committed 80-game stretch of good defensive team? Do they have an identity ever as a defensive team? So until that changes, nothing's changing. At least that's how I look at it. Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by The Brick. The Brick, been proudly serving Canadians for over 50 years. And right now, Canadian-made sofas can save up to 65% off. The tent sales going on. It's an unbelievable sale. If you're looking for deals, get down to The Brick and thebrick.com this weekend.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys, tough series for the Oilers. Now the offseason looms for you. What is the top priority? You only get one.
Well, we've already kind of hit on this already, but I think goaltending would be the best place to make some upgrades to start.
Yeah, sure. Goaltending, it's hard to argue with that. But I'm going to say find a commitment from the group to commit to being a better defensive team.
Question number 2. Few good UFAs on this roster. Who to me or who to you are your must signs? Let me cap it at 2 each.
I'd go with Dickinson and Murphy. That was a change to the question in the last seconds.
Well, I didn't want you to be like 7, all of them. Just cap it at 2.
I get those Blackhawks locked down personally.
I am going to go with Kasperi Kapanen. I like him because I also don't think it's going to be a huge AAV. And then second, I guess I would go with Murphy.
All right. Question number 3. Ducks now await the winner of Utah and Vegas. Who do you think is a better fit for them? And do you like their chances?
Oh, 100% Utah's a better fit for them. Utah, plays a little bit more run and gun. And Anaheim can play that way. And Anaheim's bigger than Utah. So I would say Utah. I think they could beat Vegas too, but Vegas will be able to be a little bit more defensive minded, and that could be a struggle. Anaheim beat Edmonton, and they won every game, but the Oilers scored 3 or 4 goals in every game but one.
I think Utah is worse than Vegas, Connor. So depending if you want the Ducks to win their next series, and that's a key piece of information, you can do what you want with that.
Question number 4. Now with the Oilers out, a little more free time, but there's lots of hockey to watch. Is there a team you'll be following closer or even rooting for?
No, I'm going to watch Oilers Raw interviews on YouTube the entire off season, starting at the beginning of the season and going right until the end to try and get my head wrapped around what happened.
Go ahead, Cons.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll say the honorary Canadian team, Buffalo Sabres. I think they've been fun to watch for. I have certain teams that are Canadian that I would never cheer for. Toronto, Calgary, Vancouver, but I don't mind the other ones. So Montreal is someone I'll quietly be rooting for, and then, like I said, Buffalo.
I will. Yeah, it's hard to go against Buffalo for sure. They're the underdog. But I would probably say I would fall. The Minnesota, Colorado. It's not like I'm following a team, but that series to me is the must-watch series of the second round, without question.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Final question for you guys today. On this day in the year 2000, Gladiator was released. 24 years later, the sequel came out. So, in honor of that, give me your top 3 useless or bad sequels.
This is a great question, Connor.
Thank you.
I have a beef with a lot of sequels. It's one of my many things I don't enjoy usually. Top of the list would be My Girl 2, because Macaulay Culkin, spoiler alert, passed away in the first one. How can you make a My Girl without Macaulay Culkin? Number 2, Ocean's 8, the one where Sandra Bullock was George Clooney's sister, and yet Clooney, Pitt, or Damon, no one even made a cameo. That really bugged me. And Ghostbusters, Answer the Call. But they made up for it with Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, so I kind of, the two cancel each other out.
Wow. There's a lot. I'm going to go because I really like the original. I thought Speed 2, Cruise Control, terrible. That one definitely was bad. Another one, if you say just kind of useless and didn't need it. Because it happened so long ago, because the original Blue Lagoon was fantastic, but Return to Blue Lagoon, terrible. And obviously the worst sequel of all time, it's not even close, with Slapshot 2.
What business did they have back at the lagoon?
You've never seen Blue Lagoon? Go watch the original.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. It's good, buddy. Little romance. Oh, solid. Absolutely. You guys, you've never seen the Blue Lagoon, have you, Cons?
No, certainly not.
Why'd they go back? Was it like those Jurassic Park sequels are terrible too? Why do we keep going back?
Brooke Shields was in the original one way back in 1980. So I remember as a teenager, I obviously didn't watch it kid alive, but I remember later on it came out and you're just like, oh my God. So that was like one of those teen movies that you saw. So it's just like, so anything that you see sometimes your teenage years, it's a little bit influential. And many years later it came out. Now I'm a grown adult. Like I think it came out like 30 years later, if not more. Right. So obviously not the same characters, nothing. Right. They just tried to remake it in a better, and it was awful. Like awful. Now, the original one I've never watched again, because some movies at the certain stage of your life, if you try to watch it again many years later, I just don't think it's going to have the same impact. Certain movies are just, not all movies are timeless. Some movies are great for the time they were in. Can't cap. But there are some movies, though, that I can watch many years later that are still awesome. That would not be one.
This is why I can't watch American Pie. Because when that came out, I was in my grade 12 summer.
You're not going to find it as funny as you probably found it back then, right?
I was like, these are my people. This is hilarious.
Yes. Yeah, that would make sense. So, like Superbad. Now, I never watched Superbad in my teenage years. But when I watched Superbad the first time, it was way later than it came out, and I died. I thought it was the first 45 minutes of Superbad is, if I'm in a bad mood, I'll just put that on. It's unbelievable. I love it.
Have you ever watched Super Troopers?
I think I did once, and people raved about it, and then I was like, okay, so maybe I went in with expectations that were unrealistic, because I was like, I didn't even finish it.
It's hilarious, and Super Troopers 3 just dropped a trailer, and it looks hilarious again. So maybe that'll be a sequel that will live up to some expectations, because it looks funny.
Yeah. There you go. Let's get to Major League 2. Pretty awful. Good one, Colin. Very good one. That one. Guys, Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money from Stu Barnes. I haven't seen it, but that's a good call.
They seem in the joke, though, with the title.
Now, this one you might win, Trailer Park Ryan, because the original movie was a cult classic. It was so good. Boondock Saints. Like, legendary movie. And Boondock Saints 2 was awful. Ryan, I think you are the winner. That is a very good pull. Very, very good pull. I like that a lot. There you go. Let's take a quick break. Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Buick GMC. And oh, baby, it's here. Springer's here. And so are the Corvettes. Come see the vets inside Northgate's brand new Autoplex showroom and get 0% financing at NorthgateGM.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
3 games tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Canadians and Lightning from Montreal. Montreal leading 3-2 at 5:30. The Sabres looking to force a Game 7, hosting Buffalo. And at 8 o'clock, Golden Knights trying to wrap up their series against the Mammoth. St. Louis Blues have signed Dylan Holloway to a 5-year contract extension with a $7.75 million AAV. Holloway, 24, appeared in 59 games this past season with St. Louis, scoring 22 goals and 51 points. In the association, Toronto Raptors trying to stay alive, hosting the Cavs at 5:30. We've also got the Pistons looking to do the same as they're in Orlando at 5. And at 7:30, the Lakers try to wrap up their series with the Rockets in Houston. Major League Baseball, Jays trying to rebound from yesterday's loss to the Twins. First pitch, 6:10. We'll have that one for you here on our AM feed on Sports 1440. Elsewhere, Tigers up on the Rangers 1-0. Reds, Pirates postponed due to rain in the Pittsburgh area, while the Nationals at home trail the Brewers 1-0. You also have the Yankees and the Orioles. Astros, Red Sox, Rays up against the Giants. Braves take on the Rockies. And the Guardians and the Mariners hosting the Royals. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet, and we'll hear the latest edition of Cam Tate's 2-minute warning as he role plays with Gregor with a connection to the Oilers. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
What's that? Is that actually spring? Like no snow squalls or bad weather tomorrow? It's actually spring? Well, GS Construction welcomes the warmer weather because that means we can really get to work. Now, it doesn't matter if there was bad weather. This is our time to shine, but we can't do it without good people to do that work. That's why GS Construction is hiring pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. If you want to join a team who loves their work, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order
at Northgate GM.
Noodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order noodle at noodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order noodle.ca. Noodle.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
You've enjoyed a long winter with your Ego snowblower, but now it's the time to get ready for spring. Bring your summer Ego equipment in for service. Or if you're looking to add to your lawn care fleet with new mowers or trimmers, Ego has a wide selection of products to fit every season. Ego also has the powerful wet-dry vacuum and pressure washer to make your cleaning and lawn care a breeze.
We're more than repairs. We're more than mowers. The Lawnmower Hospital.
If you're passionate about golf, you probably already know, and you've been waiting. The Quarry is now open, and all 27 holes are in great shape. Book now, get geared up at the Pro Shop, and start swinging at the Quarry. Don't forget about the Granite Grill Restaurant, an unforgettable top-tier venue to host all your events. For rental details or to book your tee time, contact the Quarry today. Edmonton's most popular golf and event venue. Call 477-THE-Q and visit thequarryedmonton.com.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
So this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5 o'clock. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Got lots and lots to discuss today. Of course, the Oilers will be having tomorrow. GM will speak, coach will speak, and then the players will speak. So be an interesting time tomorrow morning for the Edmonton Oilers. Then they're off, and obviously, you know, the players go away, but management, that now you settle in, you buckle down, and you find out what's going to be the plan, what's the direction moving forward for the organization. So see how it goes. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. It's a Gregor Show, as always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. And tonight, Lotto Max. Get your tickets. Good luck. $60 million up for grabs. And 6 Max Millions. Plus 60 winners of $100,000. So there's lots of opportunities to win. PlayAlberta.ca. Time now for the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. And man, they are now starting to get into the busy season, and they are hiring. You want to work for a great company, great benefits, great opportunities for promotion. Go to gsconstruction.ca/careers. As we welcome in from Rogers Sportsnet, Mark Spector joins us. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing?
Pretty good. They're doing Stan tomorrow morning and Knobloch and all the players. That's about 3 days of work for a sports writer pushed into one, for Pete's sakes.
Yes, it is. It is a lot coming in at one time. So, my understanding is the GM is going to speak first.
Yes,
tomorrow. So, we'll see where it goes from there. Spec, the Oilers kind of went out with a whimper last night in Anaheim.
Yeah, they did. They were outplayed, outskated, out-hustled. The game wasn't close to being close, even though there's a couple moments where they got the score a little bit close. Watching the game, it wasn't a close game. The Oilers, frankly, Anaheim made them look slow and made them look old. And I don't think that the Oilers are as old as slow as they looked. I think there was times in the series when they played their game and they didn't look old and slow at all. But in the meaningful minutes of that game yesterday, you could put a blindfold on and tell who the young up and coming team was and who the old dogs were. It wasn't too hard to tell, was it?
Yeah, no, that's true. And you were in the room, you're talking to McDavid. He said, "Hey, we were an average team all year long." A pretty fair assessment of the team. And
yeah,
and hey, I could sit here and say, "Hey, they need better goaltending," and that's probably fair. I don't discount that, but they also need better team defense, Spec. And like if we look at this organization through everything, we can say, hey, they've struck out on goaltenders a few times, valid. But how often for any extended period of time have they had consistency and or any sort of identity in knowing what they are defensively?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, number one goalies have become like number one defensemen, Jay. There's not 32 of them in the league.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets one. There's really there's a small group. We should count them one day, but there's a small group of probably a dozen guys. And then after that, there's a whole bunch of guys that are the same, So it's not winning a Stanley Cup is an incumbent upon having one of those top tier guys, Vasilevsky, Sorokin, Hellebuck. Most often the team that wins has a secondary level goalie, the Aiden Hills of the world, right? The Corey Crawfords, the Antti Niemis, Stu Skinner got you to 2 Stanley Cup finals and only let in 2 in the road in Game 7. So to me, I guess what I'd say to you, Jay, is this. You can't control, and we've watched it in Edmonton, they can't find a great goalie. No one's trading you one. And they're not moving around the league. It's not like Stan Bowman's missing out on all these Sorokins and Shesterkins that are getting traded to some other team. They don't move. But what you can control is your own defensive game. And that's what you got to focus on. Get as good a goaltender as you can get and get a better defensive game in front of them, and you got a chance. If you're standing around tapping your foot waiting to trade for Connor Hellebuck, you can tap your foot for a long time, right?
Wait a second. You're telling me the Oilers can't trade for Hellebuck this summer? What?
Yeah, I know.
There's a few articles just gone up in smoke. Thanks, man. Yeah.
Right?
No, I'm kidding. But you look at the Oilers, there are going to be changes for sure. Where do you think the changes happen? On the ice, on the bench, as in coaches, in management? Where do you think the changes are coming this offseason?
Well, there's a lot of, that's how much time do we have here? I think the theme tomorrow is going to be don't overreact. I think having been around this team as much as you have and I have, I saw a mentally tired team all year. People can say, oh, they get paid a lot and blah, blah, blah. I saw a team that battled with how much should we be putting into this regular season so we got enough left at the end. And that's the wrong approach right away because they never figured it out. They never figured out how to be a good regular season team. And then they couldn't flip a switch. And no kidding, can't flip a switch. So I saw a team all year that was pretty ripe for this. And then when the injuries stacked up at the end of the year and into the playoffs, forget it. No, I never had a moment this season when I thought this was a 4 or 3 round team, Jason. I don't know if you did, but I never saw one. So where are your changes? There's a couple of free agents are going to go. I think the question marks are more behind the bench, the coaching staff. How's Daryl Cates going to handle getting 1 round of playoffs instead of 4? Because there's a lot of money in 4 rounds, and there's a lot of money he didn't get this year, right? How will Daryl Cates handle the pressure of knowing that the end of the McDavid era is within sight here if you don't start winning Stanley Cups? And maybe even if you do win one, he still might leave. How's Daryl going to handle that? Butch Cassidy's kicking around out there. Is that something I don't know if that's something you do, but there's going to be pressure, man. There's going to be pressure, and it's going to start at the top here.
Oh, yeah, no doubt there'll be pressure here, and hey, there's pressure. Like they want to win. Yeah, there should be pressure. No question. I'm very interested. You talk about the coaching staff. I think and I'll ask Chris about it tomorrow. But I think if there was one thing you look back on, I think they could have used another experienced assistant coach.
Yep.
Right. Like looking back, it's hindsight is what it is. That's probably something you'd say, hey, we could have used a little bit more veteran experience on the bench.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know how to say this without I don't want to paint a bad picture. The Oilers have a pretty good culture in their room, but I feel like the big boys call a lot of shots, and I think with Draisaitl and McDavid need is someone that stands up to them a little bit.
Oh,
and that's how I feel. I think they need a guy walking in the door with a pedigree who says, I don't care how you've been doing it here in the past. Here's how we're going to do it now. And Knobloch's not that guy. There's a lot of good things about Knobloch. He's coached this team to a lot of wins. This, he's out coached thing is just everyone who writes that a guy's getting out coached every game, but goes to 2 cups. They don't know what they're talking about. But he is not a Joel Quenneville, stand up to those star players and tell them how it's going to be kind of guy. And maybe that's what this team needs right about now. I'm not sure. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a valid point. And I think like Glenn Galton was vocal at times and would say some things. And the other thing, Spec, is throughout all of this, we do know that Daryl Cates very highly respects Paul Coffey's opinion. And I'm interested to see, Paul Coffey was as an advisor, and then an assistant coach came in late. Does he have a bigger role moving forward?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to throw a question right back at you. If Paul Coffey takes a bigger role in the Edmonton Oilers front office, what are the chances that Knobloch survives that?
Oh, fair. Yeah. Yes. That's a fair question. I don't guys can disagree and then, hey, Knobloch and Coffey work together again this year. So, yeah.
Forced to.
Yeah.
Let's make sure, let the record show.
Yeah.
Knobloch and his staff didn't want Paul Coffey back, and they got their way at the start of the year. And then 2/3 through the year, it was going so poorly, the owner flexed and said, you're going to take Paul Coffey back now. And he came back, and, in the end, did it make a big difference, Jay? I'm not sure Paul Coffey made a huge difference, but my point would be this. If all of a sudden Paul Coffey becomes a guy that's up the food chain from this coaching staff, I question whether he's going to give this coaching staff a great review.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, he would know, having been inside of it, right? He would know.
Oh, I would know.
So, and if he does keep him, then that he's like, hey, I don't think coaching's a problem, right? Because he was inside right there. So.
And there's dynamics. If you fire me off this show and then 2 weeks later I become the station manager, you're nervous, right? That's just how business works.
Yeah.
So, that's what we're talking about.
Well, that would never happen.
Oh, I know it's never going to happen, but that's my analogy, and I think it's a good one.
No, it does. That totally makes sense.
So listen, there's one thing when you're making tweaks in your lineup and things, you leave it up to your GM and your hockey department. When all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of $1 million that didn't get earned, now Daryl Cates is going to put his hands in the pie. And when the owner shows up at the table, it's a whole different deal now.
Yes, I would agree with that. And that's why, I'm you make it to do Stanley Cup Finals. You've made a lot of money. You're like, hey man, we're really close.
Yeah.
And it's just, even though I don't think the Oilers are as far away as a first round loss makes it look like, it feels that they are.
Sure.
That's going to be the challenge for the organization, is to, as you said, Spec, not overreact to it.
Yeah, you can't overreact. Listen, the thing this team needs more than anything, it's getting older. And so, guys, that's what I didn't know this year, Jay. Are all these guys getting hurt at the same time because everyone's getting old at the same time? I don't know. Are they all going to get hurt again next year?
Yeah, fair point.
Because if we're at the point where all the big guys start getting hurt every year, then you are falling over the edge of the cliff. And, I always say this to you. You don't know when you're on the cliff until you're falling over it. So, or maybe it was just fluke. Maybe it was just a team that played so much hockey and a bunch of guys got hurt at the wrong time. But, Hyman's got to heal up and be himself. And if a guy like Dickinson comes here and he gets hurt, that's just bad luck. Draisaitl gets hurt, it's just bad luck. McDavid gets hurt, it's just bad luck. But, geez, all these guys are around 30 and they're all getting hurt.
Yeah.
So this team needs some rest, and it needs to spread the minutes.
Yes, that's what I said. To me, the biggest thing is, hey, we're going to respect the regular season more, but we're also going to lower the minutes of our top. Not a lot, but Nikita Kucherov has led the league in scoring. He's right up there in points per game, and he plays 20, 21 minutes. You can, I'm sitting there I am finding some people that can kill penalties. So I don't have to use McDavid, and I don't have to use Bouchard, and I don't have to use Draisaitl. I don't care who the coach is. That's your number one thing. And guess what? Even if you want to fall into it, I'm not doing it. You're going to trust other guys, and you're going to come up with a system that they can kill penalties.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. I think it's been an issue right here for a long time that they always lean on the same guys to try to win games. But I think it has to be bigger than that. I think you need, and I've been saying this for a couple of years, and I've been wrong, frankly, flat out wrong. At some point, you could employ a second power play unit too, right? There's no need to have a $1.48 of power play time for the first unit every single power play of the season. I mean, every single power play of the season, right? The guys on the second power play, they don't even touch the ice barely.
Well,
So
see, I don't mind, Spec, if they do that because the power play is so good and it's such a weapon. I don't mind if they do that as long as those guys aren't getting a sniff then on the penalty kill. That to me is where it becomes a problem. If the other guy's like, hey, this is our baby, the power play is theirs, this is ours. Now you have some, everybody knows their role. I talk to so many role players. They're like, when you have a role and you know what your role is, you take pride in it. It's like, buddy, we'll figure out the penalty kill. Not, we got scored on. Now we're going to go to 97 again. Now we're going to go to 29. That's where, to me, it becomes the problem. So I would say, hey, I have no, like, their number one power play unit's great. It's been great. I would expect it to be great. Penalty kill, guess what? The penalty kill wasn't good this year. You can bring on other guys, but guess what? You brought on the other guys. It still wasn't any good. So keep them away and say, guys, this is your baby. You guys are going to figure it out. Take pride in it. And if there's a problem, you got to solve it.
yeah, I think, and two of the guys, I think of all the free agents, I mean, I really like Kapanen. Everyone likes Kapanen's game, and I think you try to sign Kapanen. And unless, everybody else watched him in the playoffs too, Jay. There's some teams that may well overpay Kapanen this year, and you got to be able to say thanks, but no thanks. But we all love Kapanen's game. I'm just not going to overpay him. If some team like Vancouver says, we'll give you $6 million, I'm not doing that.
Right.
But the guy that you got to sign here, I think that's really important, is Connor Murphy. Connor Murphy is still at the age, like the style he plays, I'm not worried about his age. He's a defensive defenseman. He kills penalties, he blocks shots. He gives you a defensive conscience. I love the way he played. He made Nurse a better player. To me, he might be my top priority UFA on this roster.
Yeah, it's close. I don't have a problem with that one. I think signing him would be vital. And I like Kapanen and Dickinson. I'd bring all three of them back because I think Dickinson and Murphy bring you two guys whose number one mindset is, I'm a penalty killer and I'm defensive. So as great as McDavid and Draisaitl are offensively in the power play, bring in guys who are that good defensively and just say, hey, this is our thing. You guys, you're going to score. And oh, by the way, you are going to get a little bit better of a defensive conscience 5-on-5. Enough with the, blowing the zone. No, we're going to play. So in the playoffs, we can shut down because the Oilers have shown, the thing is they've shown it at times. I don't discount that. They've done it for times and then it goes away and then it comes back and then it goes away. And it's the yo-yo, and they have to limit you're always going to have a little bit of a yo-yo. I get it in an 82 game season, but it can't be as often of a yo-yo. And when they yo-yoed this year, Spec, the yo-yo was really low as far as how many chances they gave up and just how porous they were defensively.
Yeah, and their best players. Let's face it. McDavid's winning an Art Ross, and I don't have it in front of me. What was he this year? His plus minus like 15 or something.
Yeah, I looked at 5-on-5 because he was -4 5-on-5 in the playoffs, and in the regular season, I think. But it's all said and done, Spec. I think it was like over the year. I think I did the numbers. It was like +3, 78 to 75 or something like that. It wasn't great.
Okay, right, and in just overall plus minus, and I get it. It's a facile stat, and you can dig a lot deeper. But I'm looking at the page right now. McDavid wins the Art Ross. He's +17. Kucherov's next. He's +43. McKinnon's next. He's +57.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So your best guy who's getting 138 points, he's only +17. And I know that gets a lot of power play points. And I'm not telling you Connor does his job on this team ×10. But I'm not afraid to say it. Your best guy has to be better defensively than McDavid was this year.
Yes.
There's a lot of goals that went in when McDavid was on the ice. And McDavid, in my opinion, he's got a way better chance of winning a cup if he gets 105 points and he's +45 than getting 138 and be +17.
Yeah, well, but the thing is, I think Kucherov and McKinnon prove it. You can still be a 125 point guy and still be +40. You can do both. Yeah. It doesn't have to be, I can only score big points. I'm just saying, as the leader of the team, there's nobody for me when I'm doing the year-end evaluations of this organization that I look and say, oh, Well, no, Podkolzin would be the one guy I'd probably put it. Man, there's not much more I could ask from that guy. I loved this whole season, everything about it, start to finish. And the other thing is, how the hell is Vasily Podkolzin not on your penalty kill? Just explain it to me. Like, all the guy does is work, but he can't kill a penalty? Come on. I'm pretty sure it's not that difficult of a system that Vasily Podkolzin, who is all work ethic, can't kill penalties for my team. I'm sorry. I'm finding a way to get him on the penalty kill.
So I think we come back to the same thing. Like I'm dismayed a little bit by all this goaltending talk coming out of this series. I think it's just that low-hanging fruit. I thought we learned from Stu Skinner that it's not just about the goalie around here. Like the environment is on too many nights it's poor.
Yes.
Right. And I think after all this time, I guess I'd give you two tasks, Jason. Tell me which one you think you can do. Go out and get a legitimate first number one goalie, one of the top guys, and get him to play here. Or B, build a proper defensive team that has a way better environment in front of the guys you got, and see if that's not enough goaltender like it's been for several cup winners over the last 25 years. What's the easier thing to do here?
We'll see. Spec, it should be fun, buddy. As always, great to catch up with you. Have yourself a good weekend and enjoy the baseball and the playoff. How many Game 7s? Are we going to get at least one Game 7?
Oh, let's hope so. I love a Game 7, man. There's some good hockey on tonight. I don't know I just got home. I'm not sure my wife, after I've been traveling around watching hockey, I'm not sure she's like, okay, let's watch a doubleheader, Spec. Chalka might not be up for that. I'm not sure I am either.
Not a doubleheader. You might want to at least watch one. We'll see how it
goes. Yeah, okay. Give me one for sure.
There you get one. Spec, have a good one on Monday. There you go. That's Mark Spec to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Take a quick break. We'll come back, man. We got lots of text to get to. And the text might set a record here today for the amount of text we got on the show. I love it. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Tasting just right. You can order at oodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order at oodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodle.ca. Oodle.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
Hold on to your hockey helmets, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 69-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadian and Coors Light for $5.75. Plus, OTR's TVs are so clear, you'll see the puck better than the ref.
That ain't hard, is it?
Score and win every game night during Edmonton's playoff run with specials starting 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksyeg.com.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3, saving you more money with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 Select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 Select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Experience the home ice advantage with your window coverings. Novo Blinds provides factory direct pricing and fast turnaround on rollers, zebra, blackout, drapery, and motorized blinds. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
The tents are up and the deals are out. The Brick's biggest sale of the season is on now. Take up to 60% off clearance items in the tents. Sofas start at $399 and save up to 50% on select mattresses. Plus, only until Monday, take until $20.30 to pay with 0% interest. Get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. OAC, see in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Sherwood Honda is home of the GOAT. That's your greatest offer all time. And they have plenty of pre-owned GOATs that they got on a trade. Every used vehicle they sell goes through a 182-point inspection and comes with a vehicle history report. Because peace of mind is an essential part of getting your GOAT. And Sherwood Honda sure would want you to buy with complete confidence.
Hi, it's Jason McCoy. You know, music's given me a lot of great moments, but nothing means more than time with my dad. When he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, a simple PSA blood test was key in detecting it early, and we got more years, more laughs, and more memories. Guys, it's a quick test that just might end up saving your life.
Join the Princess Auto Motorcycle Ride for Dad in Edmonton, Saturday, June 13th. Register or donate at ridefordad.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of independent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely Friday afternoon. The Edmonton owners will have their final media availability of the season tomorrow and go their different ways for the summer and then come back. Hey, the good news, Oiler fans. There's only 2 preseason games for you to watch live next year. Only 4 preseason games. When I think Positive Friday, there is not much more positive than that. No more 8 preseason games. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm looking ahead already. It's May. And I know the training camp and everything's in September. I know the preseason, but it doesn't matter. There's only 4 preseason games next year for every NHL team. Outstanding. You're looking for a positive on a Positive Friday. That's it. I can't wait. Now, let's get to the oil report / Wanye World, brought to you by Go Auto. Look at the weekend. It's beautiful. You want to go a little window shopping, auto shopping? Go to goauto.ca. 15,000 vehicles for you to browse through. 73 different locations. One near you. Your car awaits at goauto.ca.
You've got the record-breaking text line going right now, Gregor. Like, let's try to pull some data out of this. Are the streets mad that the Oilers have left the playoffs in the first round? Is this a necessary thing, do people think? Or is this a crisis? Like, what is it? What are the streets saying right now?
Well, people are obviously frustrated. There's no question. I think I don't think like the sky's falling to the point where it feels like the orders are so far away. Like they're now, hey, you lose. There obviously is areas to improve. And now we'll see how they improve it. I would say that's probably the standard. Obviously, they'd like to improve goaltending, but lots are like, you got to improve team defense. No question. It's a big one. So,
I suppose the lesson to be learned from it is that, like, there's a lot of reasons why things can go badly, right? You can have some injuries, you can have some burnout, you can have a few key trades go the other way. I'm shocked that you can go back-to-back cup finals and have the average season that the Oilers had this year by their own admission. How do you fall off that much over the course of one offseason to go cup finalist to average team with above average expectations?
Yeah, like Edmonton should have high expectations. There's no doubt about that. But if you have high expectations, it's like, okay, how am I going to get there? Right? Like, it's like anything in life. we can always say, okay, I have a goal to want to do this, right? Like your kid comes home, I want to play AA hockey. Okay, great. Well, how are you achieving your goal? So the Oilers want to win the cup. I know that. So what are the steps that they're doing? And what now? You've come very close. What have you learned from the last 3 years? Right? Honestly, what have you learned from your runs to the cup that's not allowed you to hoist the cup? Right? Like, obviously, they were super close in 24. Then they were one game less close in 25. Now they're a long ways. Now they're 14 games below, right? So you could argue that they've dropped off significantly. So how do you get back? What have you learned as an organization? Well, if you're going to chase a goal, you better make the right move. And then B, have we been good enough defensively? That's the big one. Have they been good enough defensively? And I don't think anybody in the organization can say that consistently enough they've been good defensively. Right?
I would agree.
So that to me is that's their challenge. They need to be better overall defense. Hell, you can go out and get a goalie, but you're not getting a goalie that's like a top 5 stealer of games. Right? You're not doing that. So you got to go out and find a goalie who, now it helps with your system, right? Hey, Dan Vladar, everyone's like, yeah, well, Dan Vladar, and you know what? They played a pretty good system. Yeah, they played a pretty good system, but still, if you look at Dan Vladar's numbers in the regular season, right? If you say goals saved above expected, Dan Vladar was top 10. Right? Dan Vladar was top 10. So don't tell me that it doesn't help your team. Doesn't guarantee you. Look at the Islanders. Right? Ilya Sorokin was Logan Thompson was number 1, and they didn't win. Sorokin was number 3. They didn't make the playoffs. The Rangers, number 6. Devin Cooley, number 7. Didn't play in that many games, but Jet Greaves, 9. So my point is, yeah, these guys make a lot of goals saved above expected, but still, what's their goals against, right? So you might have a lot of goals saved above expected, but if you're still giving up a lot of goals, it just means you're giving up way too much, right? And so Dan Vladar was not in that category. Didn't give up a ton of goals, right, overall, but he gave up less goals than Vasilevsky, right? He gave up actually 11 goals less than Vasilevsky, but Vasilevsky still had more goals saved above expected. I'm not sure you're going to find, you're not getting Thompson or Swayman or Sorokin or Vasilevsky or Shesterkin, right? You're not getting those guys. So can you go find another goalie that when you have a letdown, because trust me, even the best defensive teams have letdowns. So when you have those letdowns, can you find a goalie who can make some saves for you? And that's going to be their challenge. That's what they have to do, right? Like, it's funny. Do you know who is 21st in goals saved above expected this year in the NHL?
No.
Stuart Skinner. Tied with Mackenzie Blackwood, actually, for 20th. So, I said at the time, everyone was like, oh, yeah, Stu Skinner's gone. It's going to solve all their problems. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not solving your problems. Team actually got worse. So, don't, people say, oh, yeah, he was better than Skinner this year. No, he wasn't. Connor Ingram wasn't better than Skinner overall, if you look at their numbers from his time in Pittsburgh, right? So I don't buy that either. So the order is, hey, team defense, and it's team defense, not just defensemen. Team defense has to improve. Till that does, I don't think they can win. And will they commit to doing it? That's the question. I don't know.
We got to have a better season next year than this year.
Well, I would hope so. The regular season was average. They were not very good in the regular season. They'll have a better regular season. They'll be rested. They'll be hungry, all that, blah, 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 blah. Right? But will they take it serious enough? When you look at their talent, it's embarrassing that in a decade, they've never committed enough as a team to win their division in the regular season. Not once. That's kind of a joke when you think about it. Let's be honest. That's a joke. You weren't committed. Now, I know they made 2 cup runs. That's awesome. But they've never been committed enough to win their division with the talent that they've had. Doesn't guarantee you cup success, but it just shows me a commitment that's a little bit longer. So that's something that I would look at. So this is how it goes. We'll take our final break, come back with Cam Tatum and the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Your protein drink should work as hard as you do. That's why Booster Juice is hitting the gym harder than ever, brother. Meet your new gym buddies, the Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers. 2 new ripped and refreshing menu options that bench some serious protein. Perfect for pre or post workout. Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers taste like motivation. So what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
A lot of you love hockey season. But when it comes to construction season, you're not as excited unless you work for GS Construction. It's true. As one season is winding down, ours is winding up with all sorts of great projects to make the city we live in better. And our team is hiring. GS Construction is scouting for pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. So if you want to score a great job, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos. For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Spring savings at Pet Value. Save $10 on select dry dog food from Go, Solutions, and Origin Amazing Grains. Shop your local Pet Value and petvalue.ca.
Tim's Smile Cookie is here. And with every bite, you'll help make a difference close to home because 100% is donated to over 600 local charities and community groups. Buy your Tim's Smile Cookies April 27th to May 3rd at participating restaurants in Canada for a limited time.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Shulman for the games live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
546. Welcome back. Gregor Show, Sports 1440. sports1440.ca. Oh, Tater. This I always like to proofread on Fridays. I like to read it beforehand. And as I'm reading it, I'm like, all right, I think I'm catching the gist here. Oh, now I got it. Oh, it was a pretty good little Cam Tate twist. If you're paying attention, Oiler fans. So pay attention as we get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, of course, longtime journalist in town. Cam, born with cerebral palsy. Cam's always wanted to be in radio, and now through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life. The 2-minute warning. Now on Fridays, Tater asks me to read his words. So here we go. Cue the music. It's a 2-minute warning. Cam Tate. Let's role play. Mr. Gregor, role play. Now let's say when we got together, coming up on 3 years ago, I lowered my writing fee significantly to write and produce the 2-minute warning and chirp young Kruger. But I have a 1986 computer. It's slow. A 3-line readout. And oh, yes, no internet capability. None. Not even the dial-up with that sound. The sound of a porcupine in heat. So I can't write as fast as I could with an updated machine. And most importantly, I didn't have the software to generate my copy as a voice. But pardon my ego, I know I'm good. Thousands of people also think I'm good. And in a very weak moment, you, Gregor, tell me I'm good. And I love the Sports 1440 gang. I think you and Connor and Declan and Wanye, I could take what we do to a new level. I keep using that 40-year-old computer. Spelling mistakes, though. Format commands. No voice software to convert text to voice. Still, I keep writing, and I keep hoping, asking, praying that you, Gregor, go out and buy me a new laptop. I don't want to share our success with you and Connor and Declan. We try to work for 7 months, but I keep getting frustrated. Like the times I know I'm late submitting my segment, the frustration, especially when radio ratings are on. I know we can do better, but I feel trapped, stymied, another form of paralysis. So we take a 4-month break, and we'll get together again. And I really hope Gregor gets me the new computer, because basically I gave him that money, taking the discount to be better. And I have to be honest here, Gregor. As a manager, you have failed me. Are you listening? Stan Bowman. Back Monday, Cam Tate, 2-minute warning. So Tater was essentially saying he's the Connor McDavid of Sports 1440. Nice. So he was the role play. He's right. Hey, I took a discount. It's not working. You know, for 7 months, I get frustrated. Now I take a break. Wants to work. So he's basically saying that Stan Bowman needs to do better by Connor McDavid, giving them the discount. And there is ability to, because here's the thing. The discount starts now, right? Because this year was the previous contract. It was already secured. The new discount is starting July 1st, right? That's when that's where basically Connor McDavid said, here, man, I gave you carte blanche. You better make it work. And he's true. It's true. This is where the rubber hits the road, starting July 1st, and maybe even leading up to it beforehand. Maybe you re-sign some guys. You don't let them walk to free agency. Murphy, Dickinson, Kapanen, whoever, right? Or is there other changes on the coaching staff, scouting staff, whatever you're doing? Now that it's May 1st and this season for the Oilers is officially done. I know contracts aren't officially done, but you know what I mean? It's officially over. And this is where Connor McDavid's new contract begins. And now's the time to make hay.
Do you think Tate needs a new computer?
Honestly, I don't know. I think I was reading after. I was like, doesn't he need a new computer? I think he just got a new computer.
I can't tell if this is a hockey story or I need a computer.
No. I think he was trying to role play here, suggesting it. So I'll have to ask him, though, if he needs a new computer. Because if he does, we'll have to give him a new computer. But I don't think he needs one because I thought he just got one.
1986 edition. That's a Connor McDavid year of birth.
No. The 97 is.
Oh, yeah. No,
it's your birth.
86. I'm off by 11 years.
Yeah.
Why would he have dropped that in there in 1986?
I think he's just trying to be funny.
I thought it was an Easter egg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see. But I do like this text. Hey, Gregor, the McDiscount is Jari. God help us. Mondo.
That's a tough one.
Well, it's not a great first move. You're right. Because that's the part I said all along with Stu Skinner was Stu Skinner's contract was up. If you wanted to walk away from Stu Skinner, you walk away in the summertime. Now you've only would have freed up $2.6 million, but it's better than being now 5.3. That's why I said at the time of the trade, people, we can go get the tape. I said, do not, because people were loving it. Right. And then Jari's first game, see, look at it, it's unreal. And I'm like, no. Now, hey, maybe Jari's just been banged up all year. Maybe an off season for him, it'll help. Right? Sometimes injuries take longer to, like, you come back and you play, but you're not, ask Connor Brown, you're not fully back. So maybe that's what they hope. Right? We'll see. Like, how banged up was he? How much of a factor was that? We won't know maybe until next year.
Connor Ingram exceeded expectations.
Why? No, I guess because like there wasn't probably that many expectations. So I don't know. Like I always kind of joke about that, right? Like if you're the tallest guy at the short person convention, like yeah, you're the tallest guy, but is that necessarily a great accomplishment? Like, you know, Connor Ingram in the playoffs was .876 save percentage, 3.86 goals against is always what I look at more, to be honest, than save percentage nowadays. I don't say percentages, whatever, with the way they're tracking it. I look at goals against. Like think about it. It's almost a full goal against higher than what Stuart Skinner had last year, right? Or no, sorry, in the playoffs. Ingram in the regular season was 8.99, which is about league average now, and a 2.6. Pretty solid. But playoffs, no, the playoffs weren't great. I just look at goals against average, right? The playoffs weren't great. So, like I said, I'd bring it back. I'd have no problem with it.
I think they should, given
but
contract.
I don't know. Like, are you going to run back both of them? That's the question. So we'll see. On behalf of Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley, Declan Cougar, have yourselves a great weekend, everyone. Please do not drink and drive. Don't weed and drive. Get home safe any way you can so you can listen to the show on Monday. Let's get to Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by GoAuto.ca. Proudly giving back to their community over $27 million. They're giving back to charities and reinvesting in the community. Let's GoAuto.ca. Wishing you a great weekend. Talk to you Monday.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
3 games tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Lightning and Canadiens scoreless after 20 minutes. Montreal advancing with a win in Boston. The Sabres up on the Bruins 1-0. Alex Tugman is 4th of the season midway through the first Buffalo leads that series 3-2. And at 8 o'clock, Utah trying to stay alive against the Golden Knights. In the association, Raptors and Cavs from Toronto. Cavs leading 16-15 early in the first quarter. They also lead that series 3-2. The Magic have a 47-32 lead over the Pistons in the second. And later tonight, the Lakers try to wrap up their series against the Rockets, leading 3-2. Major League Baseball, Jays Twins about 15 minutes away from first pitch. We'll have that one for you here on our radio feed only. Elsewhere, Rangers lead the Tigers 4-0 in the fourth. Also in the fourth, Brewers up on the Nationals 2-0, and the Yankees lead the Orioles 5-1. That's in the top of the third. At the Cadillac Championship, Cameron Young atop the leaderboard at 13 under par. Canadian Nick Taylor in the hunt. He's -8, while Taylor Pendrith is 6 under par. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, it is Blue Jays baseball on our AM feed. If you're streaming, you've got Fox Sports Radio. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. with the Saturday Sports setup, followed by Hoop City with Paul Sir. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to Seek